Beyond Saltmarsh is a game played by adults and recorded for an adult audience. Sometimes we use adult language and explore adult topics. Consider yourself warned.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Superior Adventures Guild. I'm Dave, your humble DM, here to play some Beyond Saltmarsh with my buddies here at Guild Superior, and excited to dive back into our adventures in Greyhawk. Before we do that, of course, I'd like to say hello to the crew here. Hey guys.
What's up?
What's up?
Go ahead and introduce yourselves, and then we'll continue on.
Hey, what's up? My name is Andy. I'll be playing a Rhunar Deg today, a 7th level human champion fighter.
I'm Kirk. I'm going to be playing Byron Hern, a rogue level 6 fighter level 1, variant human, chaotic neutral.
Heavy on the chaotic.
Heavy on the chaotic.
Hello, I'm Chad. I play Irin Coalbiter. He's a monk and a dwarf, also level 7. He's dope.
He is dope, and he likes to punch people in the dick. We should make sure that people are reminded.
The gonads.
Yeah.
Right.
It should also be said that these guys have formed, I guess, what we've colloquially been referring to as the Deg Gang, the Good Buddies, and have built a bit of a reputation in this small little area of Greyhawk around the town of Saltmarsh. Today we are indeed missing our Warlock, Theo. We'll have him back in a week or two, but he's doing some fun stuff and couldn't make it. So, but don't rest assured, he will be back. He has not been captured or killed
yet.
But not for a lack of trying, let's be honest. Yeah,
that's true.
So, all right, let's do a little bit of a recap here from last session. For those of you that are coming back and joining us again, thanks a lot. We appreciate it. If it's a first time view for you, hey, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. What is it? Mash the like button. What do they say? What do streamers say?
Smash that like button.
Yes, smash that like button and
subscribe if you like it.
Subscribe, baby. Yeah.
Smash that like button.
Yeah, what is it down in the doobly doo? Is that what they say?
Ring that bell for notifications.
Yeah, all the stuff.
They put it in, and they always point at a corner. They're
always pointing to corners.
Yeah, just all the stuff. Do it, and but let's get started. Here we go. So in the last episode, our heroes had begun the dangerous journey out of the Dreadwood Forest. They had been victorious in a pretty substantial fight against an evil cleric and his undead minions. They weren't able to make it all the way out of the forest on their day of journey, so as night began to fall, they decided to make camp, and they had discovered an abandoned campsite. So the cleric Whimsy was caring for Silent Wolf, who had been afflicted with some sort of a strange curse in his interactions with this evil cleric earlier in the game. Byron was about setting up tripwires and bottle alarms. Theo helped to aid Silent Wolf by using his warlock powers to dispel whatever this magical affliction was that had kept Silent Wolf in this unresponsive state. So Irin, meanwhile, was patrolling the perimeter of the clearing and was alerted to the approach of strangers in the darkness, the voices of these strangers growing louder and louder as they approached. Proactively, Irin stepped out of the shadows, greeted the travelers. Meanwhile, Rhunar was skulking in the woods, hiding nearby with his bow drawn, and there was a man named Aramon who came into view with 3 companions who introduced themselves as woodcutters who had been turned around during a bit of a journey, a bit of a adventure that they were on the outer fringes of the Dreadwood, and were relieved to find a group of people that they could potentially spend the evening with and warm themselves around the fire. As you do, Irin invited them to share the warmth of the fire, provided that they didn't do any strangeness and didn't try any bullshit, as we say. honoring the Pact of the Flame. So hospitable gesture was much appreciated. Aramon and his party joined the group around the fire. Stories and wine were shared. Aramon, who turned out to be a bit of a gregarious bard, played a few sweet melodies of his lute, asked a lot of questions of the party regarding what they've been up to in the Dreadwood. There was a lot of discussion about the arrogance of the Dreadwalkers, these elves who were ranger types who kept an eye on things in the Dreadwood, protected people from some of the strange Shadowfell and necromancy aspects of this weird forest. Rhunar and Aramon took the first watch, and it was during that watch that Aramon sang this sort of haunting lullaby. And as the song ended, some foes emerged from the forest, a pack of jackalwares accompanied by a large blue-skinned ogre-like monstrosity with white horns on its brow. There was a interaction with Rhunar with a bit of a charming effect on Rhunar to extract information about the unholy relics that they had turned over to the Dreadwalkers. Once he was satisfied with the information that he acquired, this blue-skinned monstrosity snapped his fingers and the jackalwares attacked. Rhunar was able to shout and wake up his companions at that point. And there was a bit of a battle. This evil marauder blasted the party and a couple of his own henchmen with a cone of cold that knocked out Whimsy and Byron, who hadn't fully recovered from an earlier phase spider bite, which was plaguing him still. The outcome looked kind of bleak there for a bit, but Theo, Rhunar, and Irin fought valiantly to defend the party, and ultimately were able to get to the point where this blue-skinned creature dissipated into a gaseous form and left them. They finished off the jackalwares and spent a sleepless night watching over the stabilized bodies of Byron and Whimsy. So the rising sun the next day, everybody's feeling better. They continued along their course, eventually making it back to this farmstead, and much to the relief of Silent Wolf's family, he was safe and alive and reunited. So, as promised, Whimsy helped unburden Rhunar and Irin of their curses. She then asked Rhunar if he would be interested to help her fight against the evils that still threaten the Dreadwood Forest and the communities around it. There was a lot of discussion about what the party was going to do next, and ultimately they decided that they needed to return to Saltmarsh and to their crew aboard the Good Buddy. Rhunar and his companions bid Whimsy and her friends goodbye and set out southward towards Saltmarsh. And that is where we ended the last session, guys. At this point, we're going to move forward a little bit in the story. You have returned to Saltmarsh. You're just making your way through the city gates. It is mid-morning, and you're back in Saltmarsh. The familiar sounds and smells of the ocean, people bustling about, and the day is yours. What would you like to do?
Smell that sweet, sweet sea air.
We've been here before, haven't we?
Nope.
Oh yeah,
First time.
it's good to be back too. Can we see the boat?
Yeah, let's go to the. Can we see the boat?
I want to head down towards the docks, so
Sure.
I just make sure it's still there.
Yeah, so you come in through the city gate. You're, greeted by some of the town's guard that are posted there. You walk past the Wicker Goat. You make your way down towards the Sharkfin Bridge, and you cross over the Kingfisher River, making your way through the market, which is bustling with activity. The fishermen are unloading the daily catch already back from a bountiful harvest of fish. And as you turn the corner towards the docks area, you can see the Good Buddy is anchored in the port out in the harbor. So yes, the ship is still there.
Was
I knew they wouldn't
Sight
leave
for
us.
sore eyes. All right. Do I see any of our crew around?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Go ahead, if you're looking for crew members, roll a perception check for me and let me know what you rolled.
Okay.
We should think about a uniform, maybe.
Oh, 7.
Uniforms?
Yeah, well, nothing like fancy like military, but maybe like like the white and red striped shirts or something.
Like
like
a red sash or
What
something.
about like a little crest of 2 hands hugging a heart?
A patch.
nope, not that.
Well, we're the good buddies.
Well, maybe
We're
you
the-
can reach out to Kester at Kester's Leather Goods, and she might be able to help you out with some sort of a leather patch or something.
I'll tell you what I want to do. We got to make a headpiece for our, what's it called when you have the like ornamental thing on the front of a ship?
Figurehead.
Yeah.
Figurehead. Our figurehead. We need to get this Aramon guy and staple him to our figurehead.
I don't know that I'm into that.
There's that
Uh,
We
chaos.
must find him.
I appreciate the sentiment, but I'm not into that. That's some Reaver shit.
Byron's
Rhunar,
pissed. Byron's gonna
you
find
look
that.
around, kind of scanning the crowd of people that are bustling about the docks area. You do not see any of your crew members. However, you do see the familiar face of the portmaster, Philip Vanev.
Oh, he's gonna want some fucking money, I know.
A short, portly fellow, balding. His hair's thinning. He's got. You can see him. He's looking over some documents. He's got a monocle in his eye, and he's reviewing some sort of documentation. You see a couple other familiar faces of just people you've seen before in town. It's not a big populace, so you've seen a lot of these people before, but you do not see any of your crew members.
okay. Well, I think,
Make our way to the boat.
yeah, we need to figure out what we're going to do with our horses, but maybe we'll put them up in a stable. Is there a stable nearby?
We're gonna pay stable fees.
Well,
And boat fees.
I guess
Well,
we could just hitch them to a post for now, but at some point they have to go somewhere.
We can take care of that. I'll sell them back.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we could probably sell them unless you guys want to use them around town or something.
I love my horse, but he's not gonna do well on the boat.
No, I don't think there's no room for them on the boat.
But there's room in the larder.
I don't-
That's
you
dark,
know,
man. After what these horses have done for us,
Yeah, I'll put Aramon in the larder.
I think
That's
we could
gross.
sell them and buy better food. Just a hunch.
We could always ask our ship cook if he's ever cooked horse before, and if he knows how to butcher it and stuff. I mean, it's possible, but he's not cooking mine. I'm selling mine. I'm getting my money back.
All right.
Yeah, I
So
think we should sell them.
you're gonna try to sell them. How do you want to do that, or who do you want to connect with for that?
I have a feeling Eleander Firemorn and his establishment's going to be a good place to sell it because he's one of the town watch people, captain of the watch.
Okay.
Yeah, or
If anyone's
Winston.
going to need a horse, it's
Or
going
we
to be
could
them.
try to, yeah, or either that. I was gonna say we could try to sell them back to Winston.
Yeah, I have a feeling Winston probably bought him from Eleander. I don't quote me on that, but it's a theory.
All right, so
Um,
you're gonna do some horse trading. What else would you like to do while you're in Saltmarsh here?
Well, I think we should get out to the boat as soon as possible.
Okay.
And check on the
Yeah, if
status
you
of things.
Yeah, if you want to go do the horses, Rhunar and I can. We'll go connect with the ship.
Sweet.
All right, Byron. Let's do the horse deal. Where would you like to go? You want to go to the? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll start actually. I'll just take my horse and the 2 horses, and I'll tie them all together and everything, and I'll walk them to the Mariners Guild first, on my way towards the fire,
Sure.
Hool Watchtower.
Okay. Easy enough to do. It is the different. Well, no, it's right there. The Mariners Guild is right across from the dock, where you had previously birthed your ship. So yeah, you go to the Mariners Guild Hall, and there are people walking in and out of the Guild Hall, and you see a familiar face, Laszlo Yannick, the man that you had spoken with before regarding maps and that sort of thing.
Sweet.
He doesn't seem to notice you. He's walking into the building.
I'll yell out to him, Laszlo.
Yes. Yes.
Laszlo, I sent some letters.
Mr. Hern.
Yes, that's me. I sent some letters out of here. Gosh,
Yes.
a little over a week and a half ago now.
Yes.
I
Yes.
was wondering if I have any letters yet.
There is a letter for you. Please. Well, what are you doing with those horses? Wait here.
You know-
I'll go get your letter. And he runs
Very
in,
good.
and he comes back out with an envelope, and he hands it to you. And this envelope it looks pretty worn. It's creased and folded, and it looked like it got wet, but it hasn't been opened. To your knowledge, there is a wax seal that has a anagram on it, an anagram that has the letters NK on it, and he hands it to you,
Okay.
and he says, we sent an invoice to the ship for the maps. We have not received payment yet for that. Just wanted to bring that to your attention, and well, there's okay. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Well, how much were those maps again? How much did we owe you for those?
He kind of looks around. He seems a little anxious right now. The map.
Oh, interesting.
It was 15 silver pieces for the maps.
Oh, that's it. Oh, sweet.
This is making him nervous.
I'm trying to think, like, maybe I should give him one of these horses instead, but nah, they're worth more than 15 silver.
Do you have the payment now? I could produce a receipt for you if you're interested.
Just send an invoice to the ship,
We already did that once.
and we'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can.
Very
Thank
well.
you so much for getting me this letter. Here's silver as a tip.
Oh, okay. He takes your
Just
silver.
for him. Just for him.
And he rushes off after you do that, back
Okay.
into the building.
I will put the letter away for now.
Okay.
I'll wait to open it when I get on the ship.
Okay.
And I will continue to the Who Watch Tower,
Okay.
where I'm hoping to run into Eleander Fireborn, who is in hopefully search of 3 horses. 4 if I have Theo's as well.
Yes. You head to the Who Watch Tower, and you make your way up to the front door. There are, again, people are training. There's town's guardsmen that are training in the side yard. And as you walk up, you can see a lot of these men are kind of turning to look at you as you're approaching the tower. And as you walk in, you hitch the horses, and you walk in, and Eleander Fireborn is talking with some of his guards, and turns as you enter. Ah, Mr. Hern. Just the man I've been looking for. It seems as though you've disappeared from town over the last couple of days.
Well, just went on a little spirit journey through the Dreadwood with the Rhunar Dagon gang.
Yes. So Rhunar has returned as well.
Yes, he is currently dealing with our ship. We're hopefully just going to get out of your hair. We understand there's, that you've been looking for me, and I don't like the sound of that, so I think I'm probably just going to get out of here.
Before you leave, it's important that you know that 2 of your men from your ship have been arrested in
Which 2?
connection to a robbery that occurred just a few days ago. We have
What was stolen?
many questions for you and Rhunar. Of course, we're confused about the circumstances, but the men that were arrested are Mr. He looks down at the papers. He says, Mr. Tamis and Mr. Korga. It appears as though they were involved with the robbery at the home of Bifrin Milt.
Interesting.
And
What
it
was
is
stolen from different Milt?
something of great value to Mr. Milt as well as to this community, a symbol of friendship with our neighbors, the merfolk of the Javan. We're investigating the matter. It's thought that there was a third suspect involved, but we have been unable to ascertain the identity of that individual from Mr. Korga and Mr. Tamis. They are, of course, being questioned at the jail currently. We've had them in custody for a couple of days, but I think it's important for you and Rhunar to know that there are some ne'er-do-wells amongst your crew.
Were they treated well? Did you treat them well?
We treat them like we treat everybody who commits crimes in our town.
But I mean, you're saying that they committed a crime, but I mean, I still all I've heard is that something important got stolen and that you've arrested my crew. Have you recovered the item? Did they have the item on them?
We have not recovered the item. That is part of our inquiry, is where the item is and who this third individual is that was involved.
Why would you even suspect them? What brought your attention to our crew?
Well, he gets out the report and he says, we have an eyewitness account here of Mr. Korga and Mr. Tamis with a barrel of some sort of liqueur in the backyard of the estate. It seems as though they were creating a bit of a distraction, it seems. Meanwhile, we believe that a third individual broke into the estate, stealing a very valuable artifact that Mr. Bifrim is concerned about. And given his status as a rather influential merchant in town, the town council is sort of leaning on us to get to the bottom of this robbery. I don't know if you know anything about this at all, but if you have any information, certainly we would be interested in knowing that.
Well, let me look into some of my contacts, see if we can hunt down this item. What is missing again?
A very important item. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay, so I'll tell my contacts if they find anything important to bring it to the town council. But I would really like to see my men again, get them back on the ship. I can punish them for whatever, but I mean, it sure seems like you don't have any proof that they did anything. I mean, I know they stole a barrel from the ship, but they had just lost a dear friend of theirs. Yeah, you know, they were mourning. They were in a time of mourning.
Well, we understand loss. However,
I
right now
understand.
we are mostly concerned with the loss that has been sustained by Mr. Milt. If you could pass this information along to your captain, I would very much like to make sure that he's aware of the type of individuals that he may be employing.
Yes. Well, I'll talk to him.
Very well. Please do.
I do have these 4 horses parked outside, and I understand running a guard post in a small backwater town like this is difficult work, and it's a lot of walking and on your feet. These horses could be beneficial to you and your men. We've been taking good care of them, but we don't need them. We're going to be getting on our boat here, and getting out of your hair.
It seems as though you may need to be hiring some additional crew members before you do that, but
it's possible.
We'll have the. He looks over and he says, "Ricardo, take a look at these horses." And he says, "Ricardo will talk with you more about the horses. In the meantime, please pass along this information to Rhunar. I'm sure he will be very interested to know what's going on."
Yes, thank you very much. Is there any way I could bail out our men for now?
That would be impossible.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll go talk to Rhunar, and we'll see what happens here.
Very well. Good day.
Yeah, I
He's not
think
gonna like that
Vale
you
is like
jailed his crew.
a
Just want
new
to throw that
thing.
out there.
So Ricardo walks with you out to the horses, and he starts looking them over. He sees that they've been pretty well taken care of, and he says, "Well, how much do you want for them?"
How much did we buy them for? I can't remember.
I feel like they were 10 gold apiece, if I remember correctly.
Well, how much for the lot?
I'll give you these 3 for 20 gold, and you can have this one, and I'll point at mine, for another 10 gold.
Well, I'm sorry, sir. You drive a hard bargain, but we don't
Sir.
have those types of funds for livestock. I'll give you 10 gold. I'll give you 10 gold for all of them. Each.
12.
I have a budget, my
12.
friend.
10 each? 10 each?
Yes.
So 40 gold total?
I believe that's what it adds up to, yes.
Deal.
Very good then. He takes the reins from you, and he hands you a small pouch of 40 gold.
Sweet. That's more than I was expecting to get. I was going to sell him 3 horses for 10 gold, and then my horse, or 3 horses for 20 gold, and then my horse for 10 gold, which would have been only 30 gold.
Well,
But I'll take 40.
you pulled one over on him.
Persuaded him without even trying.
As you walk away, he turns to one of his buddies and says, "We can sell these for 15 gold apiece."
Damn it.
Or more.
I'll take a mental note of who said that and what he looks like and everything.
Yeah, Ricardo. He's really short. He's human. He's short and but very well groomed. He's got a really nice handlebar mustache and slicked back hair. He looks like he takes good care of himself, but he's just a short little gruff guy.
Byron's just going to make a note in his notes about, checks and balances and what goes around comes around and stuff.
Your list is getting longer and longer by the session.
Paramount's still at the top, don't worry.
All right, let's transition over to Irin and Rhunar. You're gonna head back to the ship.
Byron just pulls out a scroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're heading to the ship.
Let's see, double check this. Oh yeah, it says here you're due to die.
Yeah, back to the ship for sure.
Okay, so you're able to hire a rowboat to get you back out to your ship. It'll cost you 5 silver pieces.
All right.
Young kid
I'll get that.
who apparently works for one of the operations in town is happy to oblige and gets you back out to the ship. And as you board the ship, the men are surprised, startled to see you. Everything seems to be in order. The ship is clean. It looks as though it's in better condition than when you left it. They've been taking care of it. But right away when you get on board, your first mate Fritz comes running over and says, "Yeah, Captain, we've got a bit of a problem."
Fritz, how's it going? What's going on?
Well, sir, you see, a couple of the boys been pinched by the local fuzz.
What'd they do?
They're saying
They in a fight or something?
Nah, it's worse than that. They're saying they robbed some rich merchant.
What?
Yeah, they've been arrested. We're down 2 men. I don't know. It's Korga and Tamis. I never would have guessed it.
Now,
Of course, we all used to be pirates, so
sailors.
I can't answer that, sir. I don't know. None of the
How
other
long-
boys were involved. I've asked everybody to, these guys do have a tendency to get into some trouble and whatnot, but none of the boys were involved, so I'm not sure what the hell happened.
How long ago was this?
Well, they were arrested a day and a half, 2 days ago now, I guess. while you were gone. Good to see you back, by the way, Captain. Yeah.
Oh, it's good to be back.
Wow.
But bad news. All right. Well, I guess I'll have to speak with Eleander about this. See what's going on. See if we can get to the bottom of whatever happened.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. People have been asking a lot of questions in town. I guess the word's spreading, you know how it does in a small town like this.
Right. Okay.
Alex.
All right. I'm gonna just head to my quarters and, unload some of my stuff and try to think about what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, you get settled
Yeah.
back in, spend some
Yeah,
time getting
drop
settled
our-
back in.
Drop off our adventuring packs. Don't need that around town.
Yeah, is there anything else that you want to do on the ship?
Just kind of take a. I'm just gonna. Whoop, did we lose somebody?
Yeah, we lost Kirk.
I think he was frozen before
Yeah,
he
he'll be back.
dropped out. I'd just like to walk around and take like a visual inventory, make sure everything's in its place, and nothing's sinking or falling apart. I mean, you said that already that it looked.
Everything
pretty
looks in order. You do, it's good to do an inspection, and you do a walkthrough. You see your cook, Emil Alphonse, working up some food, and as you walk in, he's like, "Hi, Captain. Good to see you back."
good. Meal, how you doing?
Well, I'm getting a little bored sitting here in port with nothing to do, but you know what? The pay is good anyways, and I'm just cooking some food. There'll be some
Right.
grub ready in just a couple of minutes for you.
Yeah, I think we'll probably be leaving soon. Hopefully, we were gone a little bit longer than we intended, but now that we're back, we're gonna figure out what our next steps are. Once we get this issue with our 2 arrested crew members taken care of.
Yeah, I heard about that. Well, I can tell you, sir, with 100% certainty that I was not involved in any wrongdoing or anything like that, and I would never be one to go ahead and rob. I'm just in here cooking.
Right. Well,
That's
I
good.
believe you. You let me
What
know if
ha-
you hear anything about it, like around town or anything. I don't know.
What have you heard?
Well, I heard that they picked up Korga and Tamis. They were causing a ruckus and drunk, I'm guessing, and broke into some merchant's house and stole something valuable. I don't know what it was or why they did it, but I mean, quite frankly, I've been talking to these guys and it seems to me like they might have been doing a bit of pirating before they signed on with you guys. So, I mean, it's not a huge surprise that they might get into some trouble. They don't seem like the
Right.
brightest fellas, though, either. Tamis and Korga, I mean, they're good guys, but to pull off a heist like that, I don't know. Seems weird. Anyways, what do I know? I'm just the cook.
Keep it that way.
Yes, sir.
All right.
You continue
That's how-
as in your. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, Fitz, how are our dock fees situated?
Oh, Captain.
We're
Yeah.
We're up to date.
Yeah, we're up to date on that. We do, there is sort of this line item here. He pulls out a ledger and he's like, "We got an invoice from the Mariners Guild, yeah, for these maps that, let's see here. It looks like Byron picked up some maps of the region. Looks like they're asking for 15 silver pieces payment for these maps. The other thing is, the boys haven't been paid in about a week or so. So there's that. And I heard you mentioning that we're going to be getting out of port here, which is fantastic news. Yeah, love to get moving, but we're going to need some supplies. So,
Right.
but that's everything else is in ship shape. We're ready. We just need a couple of crew members. I don't know what we're going to do about Korga and Tamis, but we are down to 2 crew members. That's not good.
Right.
Figure
Okay.
that out.
Yeah, we'll get to work on figuring out our next steps here, and I'll take that invoice for the maps, and I think no, is Theo with us?
Yeah, Theo's with you guys.
Okay. I think we should just like adjourn to my quarters and have a chat.
Okay. And
You and Theo, or the three of us?
The three of us, like
Okay.
everybody. Yeah.
okay. And then Byron, you after you sold the horses, what did you want to do?
I think I'll probably end up just heading back to the ship as well, opening up my letter from Monsieur Kairathi.
Okay.
I think that's who it's going to be from.
So you head down to the docks, and you also are able to hire that same guy, enterprising young man, to paddle you out for what did I say, 5 silver?
Mm-hmm.
And along the way, you are able to pull out the letter as he's paddling, and let's see, read that. I'm gonna go ahead and share the letter with you. You should see that now in Roll20. So you're able to get back out and join in this conversation now as you guys all reconvene in Rhunar's, the captain's quarters. You're able to have a conversation.
Great.
You might be muted.
Sorry. That never happens.
We're gonna have to turn that into a drinking game for our
I'm a
viewers.
little off my game right now.
Right? We need like a splash image that happened over his image.
Yep.
In
That would be great.
So I'm just out of character real quick. Do we remember? Like, do I remember? I would remember. Didn't Byron show us that shell?
He did show you the shell at one point.
Yeah.
But at this
But it was
point,
like-
none of you know what they've been accused of stealing.
Right.
Yep. But yes, you have seen that he did pull that out at, I think it was right before you guys left Saltmarsh.
And we don't know anything about the whole heist.
No.
'Cause we didn't. Yeah.
No.
We were totally not there.
Correct. The only person that knows anything about it is Byron, Korga, and Tamis.
awesome. I
What do,
totally had forgotten about that.
what do you guys think we should do about these two guys? I mean, I guess I wasn't expecting to have a couple of our guys get arrested. You know, I guess I wasn't anticipating this happening at any point. I wonder if we can like bail them out, or should we just leave them there? I don't know. Korga and Tamis, I don't really know them that well, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to, I don't know, talk to Fireborn, you know? See what the scoop is.
Right. Maybe Byron will find out more while he's in town selling the horses.
Mm-hmm.
As you say that, Byron enters the quarters.
Hey, how's it going?
Byron.
Hey guys.
Hey, did you?
Guys,
Yeah.
I sold the horses. I think I got gypped by some guy named Rodrigo or Frederico or something.
How much did you get for him?
I mean, he gave me 10 apiece, 10 gold apiece.
I mean, that sounds about right, I guess. I don't buy a lot of horses.
You know, I feel like we got gypped. Because I thought I was haggling, and then I mean, I got more than I wanted, but I definitely felt gypped out of it. But guys, I heard that Tamis and Korga got arrested.
Yeah, we just found out from the crew. You know, we were just.
Oh, you guys heard too? Okay. We got to get them out.
Well, did you find out any? Did you hear of anything in town? Like while you're in town? About
To me, it sounds
what
like
was
it's just
going
a
on?
bunch of. It just sounds like a bunch of imperial flexing to me. The guards say that they stole some magic item or some rare, fancy item, but they won't talk about what it is. I tried to get more information from them, and they just kept saying, "Oh yeah, it's just some really important item, and there's a couple witnesses." Well, I think it's all bogus. I think they're just trying to hold us up and bleed us for some money because we've done so much good for their town, and they know we're getting ready to get out of here.
Do we know when this happened?
Yeah,
Supposedly.
that doesn't track.
They said it happened like 5 days ago, 6 days ago. How long have we been gone, Dave?
It's been 6 days.
So we did it. I did it like right before we left town.
Correct.
The night before. So it's been about a week.
So that would have been right when we were leaving.
Yeah, like the night
Right
before.
around.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They said that they stole a keg, or they said they had a keg in the back of yard of some rich merchants, and were drinking, which I totally gave them permission to drink a keg. But I have no idea. I mean, it just doesn't sound like them.
Why would they drink a keg in the backyard of rich merchants?
I mean, I guess they were pretty drunk to even kind of make their way up there. I don't know why they would have been.
With
Does
a
he-
keg?
Well, doesn't this guy? Who's this guy that got stolen from?
Yeah. Do they seem bright enough to steal some item?
I mean, I guess if they saw an opportunity, I don't.
Theft doesn't take brightness.
Yeah, I don't think they're a couple of cat burglars or anything, but if they saw an opportunity, they probably might have put their hand in the cookie jar or something. I don't know. I guess they were pirates.
Let's go talk to Fireborn and see what they have
Yep.
to say.
Yep. Good call.
All right, yeah, maybe I can. I don't know.
Get it settled.
Yeah, maybe we can work this out.
Figure out what this item was, and maybe we have to. I don't know. What did they say it was that got stolen?
Something rare and important. A symbol of friendship between them and the merfolk or something.
That's unfortunate. Maybe if we get it back, we can secure. Maybe we can say, hey, if we can get this, can we get our crew back? Maybe pay some restitution. Well, let's go talk to Fireborn anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree. Rhunar, you got to be hard on him because he doesn't like me.
Well, I guess we have a bit of a history with him. Let's see if we can.
Yeah, you're much more smooth talking to him than I am. We start talking, and I just immediately picture myself driving a dagger through his throat.
No wonder he doesn't like you.
I don't know why I feel that way.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can pick up on that for some reason.
Yeah.
He's a swindler, I'm telling you.
I've heard men in his position have something called an insight check.
They have a proficiency with certain skills. They have a certain skill set.
A certain set of skills that they've honed through years of
Adventuring.
years of watch captaining.
A lot of experience. All right, so you guys make your way back to the Hula Watch Tower. And by this point, it's sort of late afternoon, getting into evening, but there are still a lot of people at the tower. Fireborn is still present, and he receives you into his office. Gentlemen, please come in. Rhunar, good to see you. Irin, Byron.
Fireborn.
I
How you doing?
Mr.
I
Fireborn.
assume you've heard what's happened and that your men have been detained.
Yes, I was informed.
Any idea
But not charged.
why they did this, or if apparently there's well, first of all, motive. These are your men. Do you have any insight on what are they trying to fence stolen goods, or?
I mean, they're mariners. They might, have a history, I guess, somewhere.
Don't say that, Rhunar.
My
But
biggest concern is recovering the item, and unfortunately, because of this man's connections, the town council is very hell-bent on prosecuting and punishing these men.
well, I mean, what
What did they steal?
what did they steal? I mean, they were in this guy's yard. Is that what happened?
Well, from
Was
the
an apple from his
evidence
tree?
that we've been able to collect, there was a disturbance that was created in this man's backyard, and Mr. Korga and Mr. Tamis were obviously drunk, belligerent, and during this engagement that they had, being thrown out of the backyard by the owner, Mr. Bifram Milt, somebody, we believe, broke into the estate and stole a very valuable but what's the word I'm looking for? Symbolically
Symbolic?
valuable golden conch shell that was given to Mr. Milt as a gift directly from Vlareth, the chief of the Javan merfolk. Mr. Milt, of course, having served as a bit of a negotiator in the accord that we have with the merfolk. He is concerned about recovering the stolen item, but also seeking some justice against the perpetrators. Now, we don't believe that Mr. Korga and Mr. Tamis physically stole the item, but we do believe that they were there to create some sort of a distraction while a third party entered. Now, they have been unwilling to divulge the identity or even the existence of this third party, which has been frustrating for us, of course, but we have been instructed to follow this through, and it's important for you to know that some of your crew members are engaged in this type of activity, and I hope that there aren't others on your crew that are also involved.
Well, it certainly seems to me like we have them for drunk and disorderly. They were obviously causing a disturbance in this man's yard, and for that, they will be punished to the extreme. On our ship, we'll put them to cleaning the decks. We'll have them doing all the stuff nobody wants to do, cleaning out our puke buckets. We got like 2 of those, I'm pretty sure. Yep, they're gonna just be really, really upset. But it sounds to me like this man chased them off his yard himself, so he knows they weren't involved. First of all, did you say it was a breaking and entering? Did they break the door open? Did they break the window?
He looks through the notes and he says, it doesn't appear as though there was any sort of forced entry. Which
So you're
we
telling
believe...
me 2 dumb, wasted dudes came on this guy's yard, tricked him into coming outside, were able to then, while wasted in front of him, sneak a third party through their door system, through their security, without disturbing anything, steal some magical item, and get out without any evidence of having been there in the first place?
Yeah, it's basically,
Does that sound like a couple?
That's
Does that
basically
sound like a
exactly what
couple?
we're saying, yes.
That sounds, I mean, it just seems really far-fetched, especially since we didn't even know what item was missing until today.
And we've been out of town for a few
we've
days.
literally been out of town.
I understand.
So why would we know about that?
So I think our men have been set up. I'm gonna try to persuade him that our men have been set up.
When was the item reported stolen?
Just about a week ago, the day after it went missing, the next morning is when Mr. Milt noticed that it was gone. Byron, go ahead and roll a persuasion check if you'd like. Let me know what you'd roll.
I rolled an 11.
Okay. He just kind of nods as you make your case and says, well, I do believe that justice will be served ultimately for your men, whether I think the biggest concern is identifying who actually stole the item. We don't believe that Korg and Tamis had the wherewithal to do that, but we do believe that they were there purposefully to create some sort of distraction. I can tell you that they will stand trial in 2 days' time. We do have an eyewitness that can create a timeline for what happened. And if they're found guilty, they will be extradited to Seaton. Unfortunately, that is the situation that I'm under as the lawkeeper of this town. I'm not sure what more there is to say other than if there is a third individual, perhaps Rhunar, in your crew that's involved, that would be important for us to know. And for you to know.
If we can
Right.
turn our considerable talents to finding this object, perhaps if we can find it within 2 days and return it, we can maybe sweep the rest of this issue under the rug. Pay a fine.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check, Irin. Let me know what you roll.
I love having 2 screens. Yeah, yeah. Nice. 17.
He nods as you finish your argument, and he says, I do agree, Coalbiter, that some sort of recovery of this item would go a long way towards putting an end to the situation. Now, whether or not this will allow for, as you say, bygones to be bygones or to sweep it under the rug, I'm not sure, but certainly it would not hurt if you're able to identify this third individual, return this item. Perhaps Milt, Mr. Biffram Milt, would be willing to drop the charges. I would certainly be willing to approach him with that sort of a proposition on behalf of you guys. You've done a lot for our community, and that it will not be forgotten, but this is an important matter, and Mr. Milt is he is an influential individual here in Saltmarsh.
Good. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Let's.
We should
take a look
probably
around.
get out of your hair now.
Yeah, we'll try to get to the bottom of this. You know, we'll take a look at the crew quarters. You know, maybe if these guys did take it, maybe it's on the boat. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
we'll do
I will let
search.
you know as well once we have extracted the name and the identity of this third accomplice. We will be continuing our questioning. And if
How well known is this object?
Well, this
Which,
is pretty well known in town. This was a formal gift that was given to Mr. Milt by the chief of the Javan merfolk.
All right then.
Very well, gentlemen. As I mentioned, I'll let you know if we are able to ascertain the third individual's identity. Good day.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Yeah, thanks
Good day.
thanks for meeting with us.
Absolutely. Thank you. And you guys exit the Hool Watch Tower.
Yep.
I'm gonna just keep walking far away from the whole watchtower.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys are keeping up with me.
Yeah, Runar's just shaking his head right now.
All right.
Yeah. Maybe we should go have a chat on the boat.
Let's go chat.
We need to
I
talk
guess.
this out. Let's go.
All right.
Okay, so you guys...
So we'll head back to the boat.
Yeah. All right, so you
Find
guys
that
make
kid,
your
pay
way
another
back to the
$5.
boat. You guys have your own little rowboat now. You took.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
So yeah, let's take a quick break. I need to hit the men's room, and I've had a lot of coffee. So we'll come back in, how
Sweet.
about 5 minutes? Sound good to you guys?
Yeah,
Sweet.
sounds good.
5, maybe a little bit longer. I'm also going to use the restroom and make
Yeah,
a
we
pot
can.
of coffee.
All right, we can
So.
do. Let's do 10 minutes.
All right.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Byron, Byron, Byron.
I'm listening to that episode right now to remember, because I had totally forgotten about that shit.
Yeah, I don't remember how Byron. I'm pretty sure we were all sitting in the boat, like in one of our quarters, and Byron was like, "Hey guys, check this out,"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and he showed us the shell.
Yeah,
don't remember.
he did bring it out in the captain's
in-
quarters at one point.
Yeah,
Was that an episode? Do you remember? Was that in episode 1 or episode
Yeah.
2?
I think it's season 3, episode 1.
Okay, that's what I'm listening to right now. trying to remind myself.
Yeah, it would be towards the end of the episode because I think we did all the sort of downtime stuff. Byron's was around 1 hour into the episode, and then so it would have been after. I think we had one more person. I think we had one more person to do after him. So. There's nothing like handing your dungeon master something fun to turn against you later in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, we should have seen this coming for sure. Oh man. Well, I'll bring it up, but
yeah.
I'll wait till the game starts.
It's a weird listening to it on the side because people keep talking and I look over at Discord and nobody's talking because I'm listening to it. Here we go. I found it. One 134 if anyone's interested.
Do you want to just summarize what happened?
Yeah. This is.
So we were just talking about what in episode 1 of season 3, what exactly Byron told the guys when he showed them the conch, and so
Hold on.
Here we go.
Yeah, he pulls it out.
I think I remember this.
Oh yeah, I did some very inappropriate things to it.
This symbol of friendship and unity. Kirk, I sent you a message in Roll20.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I think we skipped over it. He didn't really tell us anything about it. Like, he pulls it out. Yeah,
Jailbreak.
He pulls it out. He pulls out the thing, and we're like, "Oh, what the fuck is this?" And then we kind of Theo moves past it to something else, asking me about.
Yeah, it was just kind of in passing, right? It wasn't
Yeah.
like focused on.
Yeah, I didn't like take it out and like talk about it,
Yeah,
tell my
you-
plan or anything like that.
Yeah,
But
you just
something-
I knew
said-
you. None of you would
you just
approve.
You just said,
Something-
look at this. This was really cool.
But something that looks like that would definitely be memorable.
Yeah. You would remember that incident probably. Most
Just
likely.
staring daggers at Byron for the whole boat ride back.
We're gonna say because I feel like Theo would have a lot to say right now.
Yeah.
We're gonna say that he and Sales are off taking care of getting supplies ready for the upcoming voyage, just so that we don't, have to gloss over a bunch of stuff that he would say. So it's just the three of you at this point.
Okay, yeah. I don't think he would just sit idly by.
No.
I'd be accused. He'd be like, "What are you doing? To return it?" Like,
Yeah.
Everyone would know already.
No, we all know.
So I chose the right two to be here.
So yeah, let's pick up with the three of you in Rhunar's quarters, having returned to the ship.
All right, I'm not even gonna bring it up. I'm just gonna be like, "All right, guys." So they have no evidence against the boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Organ Tamus.
This is interesting. This sounds awfully familiar.
Yeah, Byron,
I feel like that's something we know about.
What? The stolen property stuff thing?
Yeah, Byron, where's the shell?
All right, I'll produce the shell. I'll show it to him.
God damn it.
Guys, this was
So
okay.
Here, you're compromising our ability to do business in town, and that's not good.
Yeah, how do you propose we
really,
dig
really,
ourselves
really
out of
like
this
right
hole
now.
here,
Maybe
Byron?
it's just me.
So you broke up.
Okay, you just caught up.
So say what you just said again.
Go ahead, Kirk. What'd you say?
Me?
Yeah.
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 Oh, sorry. You were just lagging for a second. I was having trouble hearing you, but then you sped
were
up and I caught up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was probably me actually. So I think you're misinterpreting it because I didn't steal this to make things difficult for us. I stole this to make things better for us.
Except actions
Right.
have consequences,
Yeah.
and now we've got two guys in the Hooskow.
Two innocent guys that you roped into your little plan. Now,
They know nothing about it.
yeah.
So
Okay.
in the end, not only will they interrogate them and get nothing, they will not produce a stolen item. And if they just go to early prosecute this guy, we're heroes of this town. This town wouldn't even be here if we didn't show up. And all we have to do is ride in and be like, "Hey, listen, these men are heroes. And you're assaulting them. You're claiming they stole your property when this rich guy, who I didn't see him at the fight of the Swashbuckler Forest. I didn't see him at the fight clubs, spending his coin, helping out all of the fishermen and men of this town, the backbone of this entire city. And in addition to all of these points that I'm making that are really great,
That's not how this works.
if we want to take them, we're going to take them.
Well, I'm not gonna get into open
There are men.
conflict with the
I
the
think you
guys in
misunderstand
the
how this
tower.
works.
Byron, this thing's not gonna go away till the shell goes back.
We're just
Question
Random.
is,
dudes who come in
How-
on the tide.
Right,
may
it's
have got
not going to
medals.
go away.
We may have got medals in town, but they can real quick take them back.
But here's what I'm saying. The only way this comes back to bite us is if they find out we ever had it. If they never find it, or if they find maybe part of it in somebody else's hands.
so you want to frame somebody else for this?
I want to frame Aramon for this.
That's not something we can do in 2 days.
It'll be easy.
They've never seen this guy before.
No, they haven't. Which makes him the perfect scapegoat. Because then they'll be searching for him in Saltmarsh, and they'll be searching for him in Brule.
That's real thin.
All right.
I can talk to my underworld contacts. I can get some fake documents forged. saying that he was in Saltmarsh before he ended up in Brule or whatever. I can make up some more fake documents that say he's in possession of a stolen conch shell.
What
I can
kind
distribute
of
these to some underworld people who are going to get picked up.
what the fuck kind of
What?
documents do you think anyone gives a shit about? Like,
Yo, dude, I
How's
got
that-
this sweet ass conch shell that I stole from this rich dude in Saltmarsh.
Byron,
I'll meet
how's
you
that-
in the Deadwood to hand it off.
that's
How's
the
that gonna
dumbest
help
shit
our
I've ever
guys?
heard. That is the
That's-
dumbest shit I've ever heard.
That's just going to implicate our guys that they already have. Like, why would they let them go if we just like point our finger at somebody else?
No, I'm not gonna, because our men, they don't know anything about it, and they weren't involved, with the exception of being my distraction. They only know that they were being a distraction for me. They have no idea
So
what I did.
who's so
Yeah, but they know you, and at some point they're going to be like, screw this jail. I want to get out of here.
Right, and then I'll
This
get
is
them
who.
out.
This is who told us to do this.
fuck all that? Who's somebody who sells shit on the low in town?
The
Crab.
lady.
Krebs dead.
Kreb's dead, but
know.
the
Krebs
the
dead, baby.
tiefling-
Krebs dead.
I was just gonna do that.
Kreb's dead, baby.
Who's Kreb? Krebs dead, baby. Krebs dead. Who's somebody that sells shit?
the
In
tiefling
town.
woman up on the hill, right where Byron got
Who's,
his.
who's
shield.
somebody in town who sells shit like on the black market?
I don't know, whoever took over for Kreb.
I'm sure Byron knows somebody.
I know some people. But,
So we're gonna have talk to that person, and they might know something, and then we're gonna get and return this conch shell, and then get our guys out of jail.
we're gonna get our guys out of jail. I'm with you there.
This sounds a little crazy, but hear me out. What if we go speak to this guy that, report this merchant that the shell belongs to?
This guy
And we-
that's blaming our men with no evidence.
What if we put the shell back in his house
He
And
said he
then-
saw him do it.
and then find it while we're there?
That sounds like evidence to me.
Like, make it look like the shell never left his house.
I'm gonna break the shell in half right now in front of him.
Roll a strength.
Right
Roll
now?
a strength
Oh.
check.
I punch him in the dick.
What are you doing? Stop that!
all right,
Try to stop.
All right, you two roll initiative.
Oh no, Chad, what are you doing?
Punching you in the dick.
Oh no!
I don't know why he's on
Oh.
there.
Ooh.
All right, so Byron, roll a strength check for me to bash this. How are you going to break it?
I was thinking
Not
I'd just
bad.
pull it apart.
That's initiative.
Yeah, you said roll initiative.
Oh,
He
yeah.
said strength
A
check.
strength check. Wow, you rolled two 20s. Not bad.
I don't know why I rolled 2 initiatives. That's weird.
It's all right.
Oh man.
Yeah, describe how you break it.
So we're gonna be discussing this, and we're gonna be talking about finding, and I'm gonna be getting frustrated, and Byron's gonna be like, his eyes are gonna kind of glaze over as he's like thinking like, I'm not giving up this thing that I stole. I took the time. This is supposed to help our ship. And while I'm thinking about all this in a white rage, I'm just gonna put my hands inside the conch part and just pull as hard as I can, trying to rip it into 2 pieces.
Yeah, you're able to smash it into 2 pieces and a couple more.
Okay, and then I'll look at them and I'll say, they find a piece of it in his house. He broke it down. He's framing our men. He doesn't like us. We make documents. We forge documents to say why.
Why?
He doesn't
Why-
like us.
Why are we like framing this innocent guy that just had some shit stolen from him?
He's rich.
That sounds like more trouble that it's.
He'll buy his way out of it. It's not like he's going to get in trouble. It's just going to it's going to distribute the wealth evenly, a little more evenly across town.
Chad?
I still think we just plant this thing back in his house and wait for him to find it.
Irin,
How
as they're
does
talking,
my dick
what's
hurt?
going on with your fists?
I mean, I'm sure I missed him. I missed the first time.
You should still punch him in the dick.
I I feel like I'm sitting there and I see him go to break it and he breaks it and I swing, but I'm like sitting still. So the second time I stand up and just like, bakow.
Okay. I think that hits for 7 bludgeoning.
And then make a Constitution save. Because I'm gonna stun that shit.
13.
That will fail.
I am stunned.
Stunning
Let
strike.
me go. Yeah,
I'm
let me go.
also gagging.
God damn it, Byron! And I'm gonna grab all the pieces and try to see if they go back together or something.
If you know anything about gold, it's pretty permeable.
It's
it's
all bent up.
misshapen and bent and stuff.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
great.
DC 15. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're stunned.
Yep. So I'm gonna be in a daze.
Yeah,
All right, come on.
I just kind of shake my head in disgust.
I'm just gonna be like, break it up. All right, come on, stop. And Byron's just there like.
How long does the stun last for, Irin?
A round
Okay.
until my next action. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to take a second action?
I was gonna ask him the same thing.
No.
All right.
All
Now
right.
that I'm not stunned, I'm gonna jump and I'm gonna rapier. No, not gonna do that.
Oh boy.
Byron, we're gonna throw you off this boat if you don't watch.
And our campaign
Guys.
ended after at the end of the 3rd season. We wrapped it up as our
Well, let's play a new game.
team imploded and everybody killed each other.
All right, guys, listen. So the truth is,
Wait,
I
we
had
need to
honorable
figure out.
intentions. I swear.
You had intentions to find something valuable and sell it. I
For
understand.
For the ship.
I'm not like trying to preach to you here, but the one thing I can't accept is 2 guys are in lockup for this.
I know.
We need to figure out how to get them out without further implicating ourselves.
Worst case
All
scenario.
right, because all eyes are
We
on
sail
our
in
boat
2
right now.
nights and we get out of here, and we don't leave as heroes. But everyone gets out of there. I'm not leaving Corgan and Tamas to rot in jail, but I'm not going to jail, and I'm not giving this conch back. I'll give a piece of it back.
Both pieces of it back.
We need to
I'll
figure
leave a
out
small
how
piece if we want to search his house and frame it.
It's useless to us.
we need to figure out how we can.
Gold.
We need to get this back.
We don't need it
in a way that doesn't implicate our guys. We get them out of jail and then we leave town. So, how do you think we should do that? The shell's going back, broken or not.
We can't give it back. We can't.
Sure.
Why? Why do we
Now
want
it's
it?
destroyed. If it just shows up again, not only they're going to have the object and the proof that it was at some point gone.
Yeah, because it was fucking gone.
Yeah, but I mean,
somebody knows that it was stolen. There's
this guy can afford to lose a tiny little gold conch shell.
That another nation gave to them as a symbol of appreciation or unity, whatever. Right? This isn't like
Why'd they give it to him and not the town though?
I wasn't fucking there. This isn't like stealing the goddamn silverware.
He was like an ambassador or something. Anyways, how are we going to get
the town statue?
How are we going to get our guys out? What?
I can bust in. I can bust in and I can bust them out.
And what happens if Eleander comes down the stairs? You gonna stick him? Come on. We're not going to war with Saltmarsh. We're not going to war with Saltmarsh.
They're not keeping Corgan and Tamas. They didn't do it.
If you break them out of jail, the 3 of you will not be welcome back on this ship. Not by me, anyway.
It's not happening, man.
You can go
Like, why would we do that? Why, after
shit where
all
you
the
eat
stuff
somewhere else, but you're
that
not
we've
going to
done?
do it on this ship. Don't shit where you eat.
The best option, I feel like,
What if
is
the
to
shit is gold?
get this back to a guy, this guy. Now that it's fucked up, who cares? It's broken, whatever. Get it back to him. Say we recovered it. Unfortunately, it's broken. But as you can see, it wasn't our dudes.
All right, I'll take it back to him.
But like,
I got this. I understand.
How would you
I'm
get
picking
it?
up what you're putting it down. I'll take the pieces back. I'll apologize to the guy. I'll give it back.
But how
And,
will we get our guys out? Because then they'll just make our guys look guilty and make you look guilty.
I won't reveal my face. I'll put on a disguise.
You want to just break in there at night?
I'll say I'm
Like a mustache.
I'll say I'm a I'll make up
Hello.
a story. I'll make up
Hello.
a story, and I'll say it wasn't Korga and Tamas's fault. Here's your item back. It's broken in half. Sorry about that, bro. Please don't frame the Korga and Tamas guy. And I'll turn it back. I'll give it back to him, and then they'll be free, and I won't have to break them out.
I don't know. I don't know how that'll work.
Doesn't
do it
sound like
tonight.
it's gonna go good.
Are you
Do it
gonna
tonight?
You can't kill this
I'll
guy.
do it in cover at night. I won't kill him. I promise.
That'll just make everything worse. Don't kill him.
I won't kill him. I promise.
I don't know, Irin. Do we trust him with this?
I don't know. We're gonna have to be seen around town looking for this thing, questioning people, and then we can come in and say, "Hey, we found this thing."
I mean, is there a way we can like implicate the Brotherhood or something?
Probably.
You know?
Yeah.
But I mean, we killed them all. Who's left to blame it on?
Did we?
I can talk to. Okay.
As far as we
gotta
know,
think about this.
I don't know. Either that, or we have to find some patsy to blame it on.
I do have some people
Find it on
I
the
can
side of the
connect
road.
with.
Oops, here you go.
who
You
might
know?
have ideas of what we can do.
What do you?
So what if we get it sneakily into somebody's possession,
Whose
Okay.
possession do we want to frame? Who do we want to frame?
and then we like, and then
Who do you want to frame?
and then we show up, be like, "Hey, we heard that you have this item."
Yeah, but like, you know, who would we?
Yeah, Irin, if you tell me who you want to frame, man, I'll back you.
There's no
I'm
one
sure
left.
we can find somebody. I mean, there's the entire population of the empty net, right?
Those are some good people.
Are they though?
I've only been there once, I think.
I don't know. I don't know if
I remember having a decent time there.
I'm all for
There's that lady though. That lady who was part of the. You're right. We should frame the empty net.
Didn't I kill her? Or
we
you
don't know
did?
anybody over there anymore.
I say, what if we just split up? We all go around town. We talk to some people. We make it very visible that people see us talking to people, that we're investigating this shit. And then we meet back tonight at the boat. Like, let's say 2 hours after sundown.
How about this? This thing goes back to the guy's house. He wakes up, finds it. Doesn't know how it got back there, but it's back.
And broken.
Korga. Well, goddamn, that would make us look bad, though, wouldn't it? Because all of a sudden we come back to town and now the thing shows up again.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. That's
And
why
now
we
it's
gotta-
broken in half.
That's why we gotta find it.
God damn it, Byron. Pain in my ass.
Or we
Yep.
turn Byron in. Then we don't have to deal with any of this shit anymore.
Yeah, Byron
I
would just
wouldn't be upset with you,
And then you can go.
but I would find you.
You can take a ride to Seaton.
Yeah.
I hear Seaton's nice this time of year.
A slow wagon ride to Seaton.
You'll lose all my contacts.
Contacts.
What have your contacts done for us so far?
Deciphered the Journal of the Drowning mystery and
Oh, you got that.
led us to a potential treasure trove of riches in the south.
Look, Byron,
Yep, and we'll take that.
we need to sort this out somehow so that we can get our guys out.
Guys, I can take care of all of this, and you guys won't have to know how it happened tonight. I'll do it tonight. All you guys have to do is go to bed, maybe relax, have some ale, maybe have a nice dinner. Maybe we bring Alphonse, some really nice ingredients so he can cook you guys a good dinner. And while you guys are doing that, I'll just go out, I'll do all the hard work. And when I come back to the ship tonight, everything will be handled. We'll be able to sell whenever we want. Nobody will be upset.
Irin, there would be something to say for just letting this guy dig himself a deeper hole. We could just let him off the chain and enjoy our evening with plenty of witnesses, but he'll be gone digging his hole. He got us into it. Maybe he can get himself out. I certainly don't want to stick my, face around town, like anywhere near this thing. I mean, Byron, the only way I think I'm cool with this is if you tell me what you're going to do.
That doesn't work like that.
Let me know what your plan is.
If I tell you, you'll be a co-conspirator.
Plausible deniability.
Plausible deniability.
If you don't want to know what's happening, you can't know what's happening. And I'll only do it if both of you agree. Otherwise, we'll do it a different way.
I mean, Irin, there's something to be said to, frame somebody that we're, not on good terms with. But, who is that now? There's nobody. Krebs gone. We don't know who. Somebody obviously took over doing what he was doing, but we don't know them. We have to figure out who that is. And Byron, you can't just go and break those guys out. They'll just come right after us.
I'm not going to break them out. Don't worry.
I'm not going to burn our Saltmarsh bridge over this shell.
All right. I'll tell you a little bit of what I'm thinking. I have some contacts in the underworld. I'll go talk to them. I'll see if I can get some dirt on this guy I robbed from. I'm not saying he was my contact, but he may have pointed me in the direction of this conch shell. But I'll talk to him, and I'll give him half the shell, and we'll discuss a possible dropping of the shell someplace where it's found. And I'll pay him a ridiculous amount of money. No, I don't like this plan. I like my original plan.
And what was that?
I was going to go to his house and threaten him. I was going to tell him if he didn't stop blaming Corgan and Tamis, I was going to find him in the night.
Yeah.
And I think it'll work most effectively. I won't hurt him. Irin. I know I can see the poison in your eyes, but I won't hurt him. I won't poison him. Nothing. I'll just say, hey, listen. You have plenty of money, and this shell's ours now. You're just going to suck it up.
What do we want with this shell? What is it worth?
500 gold.
200 gold? 500 gold?
That's 50 days of crew pay.
No.
Of a cruise payment.
We don't need it. What are we gonna melt it down and mint our own fucking coins? Who are you gonna sell a busted ass piece of shit for?
You're right. It's probably not worth 500 anymore. That's broken.
It ain't worth jack shit other than the weight of the gold it is.
Can we fix it with prestidigitation or mend or anything like that?
I don't know what those are.
Can Theo do something like that?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
The scholars of the arcane would definitely be familiar with.
Didn't he
with
fix
that, but it wouldn't work on magic stuff.
I don't think that.
He would not be able to use prestidigitation. Wouldn't do it, and
Okay.
I don't.
Mending might.
Yeah, let me look at that.
I don't know if he has mending or not.
Yeah, you would need it to do it.
Repairs a single break or tear in an object.
So does that mean
It's possible. Roll an Arcana check, Byron. Roll an Arcana check for me.
he broke it with a single action?
Nice.
Yeah, 19.
That was
Yeah,
almost really bad.
you are aware of mending, and you have some idea that it could potentially work.
Okay.
The only way this guy's
I'll get the shelf fixed, and then I'll threaten him.
give him the shell back. We got to get the shell back, because then at least we'll be able to get our guys out. If we say...
But then the shell will have magically reappeared when we enter town again.
That's the rub.
I think we're better off. The shell is never spoke of again. Because if we speak of it again, it will have been tied to us forever. And this thing isn't going to be found. Because look, it's in two pieces now, guys. I'm going to hold them out like... So, returning this is not going to happen anymore. But, there's still a guy out there we don't have time to hunt down, who deserves to be hunted down, who is easily framed for this. All we have to do is leave a note in a room. You know what? I'll talk to my underworld contacts. I'll plot something. And I'll leave part of the shell somewhere with Aramon's name on it.
Yeah, if you can get
And I'll make sure it's found.
if you can get your contact to, I mean, you'll have to sell out your contact.
No, my contact won't be sold out, but my contact will sell out Aramon.
How does... Okay.
But it's going to take more than your word, probably, to say, oh, it was this guy, Aramon.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to need to pay
Or
somebody
you
to do some forging for me.
Or are you going to be able to convince Iliander that when you say, I know a guy who does stuff, and he said that this other guy, Aramon, stole it and tried to sell it, and I have half of it for whatever reason, like, or I think it might be that you're right. It needs to disappear because it doesn't make any sense why some jackass in town who knows what this thing is would have stole it and would have broken it. But then we're gonna pitch it over.
Some jackass from out of town.
So the merfolk find it and then come after us, and then we can kill all the merfolk.
Was that thing magical? It wasn't magical, was it?
I hope not.
If it was magical, we need to talk about Byron's strength.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, you can't break magical items too easily. All right.
He's secret Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay. So if you go in there with some kind of story, isn't that going to point fingers right back to you?
Not if we all go around town right now and start doing our own sleuthing. That'll make it look like we're collecting information.
That's the only way this works, I think, other than turning in.
I'll go meet my contact.
Yeah, I mean, we have to at least establish that we're looking around for it.
Mm-hmm.
Plausible deniability.
Yep. And I think we should get some of the crew involved. Specifically, I know the guys would be totally down to help us search.
I don't think we get any of the crew involved. Leave them out of it.
No, yeah.
We'll
They
search.
the less they know about all this, the better.
We'll search. You know, we have a bigger history in town than these guys do. We'll search. We'll meet back here tonight. Well, let's meet at the Hool Watchtower. Well, let's meet here and then maybe go to the Hool Watchtower in the morning.
All right.
Maybe let's not say morning. Let's say we meet back. We go to the Hool Watchtower, you know, early afternoon. Like it took a little while to hear back or something, and then we see if we can convince them of this thing.
All right. Let's.
I mean, what's the plan then? I mean, we're just gonna start looking around town for it.
Go around town, make it look like you're really looking.
Ask around.
Maybe look for other stuff while we're there. Maybe mention Irma. Maybe
Check in
mention
with any-
posters.
Well, I mean, don't mention Aramon if we're gonna have discovered
yeah.
that he
Yep.
was the person
Good
who
call.
stole it. Like we can't ask about him now. But we can keep an eye out. You know, let's ask. You know, go find anybody you talk to in town. Hey, is anybody new come in town? All that kind of shit.
Good call.
It'll be our gypsy friends. Like, I mean, we're going into town just hoping we get lucky, basically, right?
It's a gypsy.
You know, the people we met on the way to Burl.
Oh.
They're new in
That's
town.
right. Yep. Oh my gosh, we have to find them because they're also ship travelers. They're familiar with ships. And I need to tell that lady I totally defeated the evil from below. Because we blew up that vampire thing in the Dreadwood. She said devil below or whatever. Destiny and all that jazz. So I've already found it. Ready for my next one.
All right,
Yeah.
so you guys have a plan in place to head out into Saltmarsh and do some investigating? Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start with Rhunar. Rhunar, where are you going to go? Give me kind of an idea of where you're going to go and what you're going to do.
I really have no idea. I don't know.
You can't follow me. I can't bring you to my contact.
Yeah. I will go to see Anders Solmore.
Okay.
And with the intention of asking him if anybody has come around inquiring about his former employee, the guy,
It's made
Scarn?
or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
the guy that was in,
Scarin,
that was
wave chaser.
yeah, Scarin,
Mm-hmm.
and just see if anybody's come around inquiring about him, or if he's had any other encounters with some suspicious folks. Because he's got to feel a little bitter, right? Like that he was like taken advantage of by this guy, and
You'd think.
Good play.
Yeah. All right. So you head over to Scarin's estate. It's after dark now. It's not late in the night, but the sun has set. It's evening, and you approach the Solmore estate. Rap on the door, and there's an unfamiliar individual that opens the door and receives you. Yes, sir. How can I be of service?
Yes, hi, my name's Rhunar Degg. I was wondering if
Ah.
I could speak with Anders, Mr. Solmore.
Well, the hour is late, but if it's important, I will see if Master Solmore is available. Please come in and sit. And you
Thank
sit
you.
down in like the waiting room, the receiving area. He disappears for a minute, and within a very short period of time, you see Anders Solmore walking into the room to greet you. Ah, Rhunar Degg, what brings you here at this hour? Good to see you, my friend. And he reaches out his hand and shakes your hand.
Thanks for meeting with me at this. I know it's kind of late and a little unexpected, I imagine.
Yes, very. Is there something the matter? Can I help you?
Well, I don't know if you knew, but we were out of town, and when we got back, I found out from Eleander.
Is this about
you know-
Sophia?
Sophia? No. Why? What do you have news of Sophia?
Well, she's taken ill.
Really?
Yes.
It's
But
not
I'm
serious,
sorry.
I hope.
Well, doesn't seem good. Strange illness has befell her 3 or 4 nights ago. We've been monitoring her. Anyways, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Okay, well, yeah, maybe we should check in on her. But what I was saying is there's this issue of a shell that went missing. And he asked us to look into it for him. If there's
A
anything
shell,
that we
you
could
say?
do. Yes, from this what's the merchant? I don't remember the merchant's name right offhand.
Biffern Milt.
Briffram Milt has lost his shell, apparently, and I guess it was very valuable.
Yeah.
And they seem.
You're speaking of the Job and Merfolk shell.
Yes,
Oh,
that's the
my.
one.
Yes, he's very proud of that.
They seem to be of the opinion that 2 of my crew members may have had something to do with it. So we're just trying to get to the bottom of it.
Do you think they were involved?
I really don't think so. I haven't known them for long, but we've been through quite a lot together, and it seems kind of out of place. They're not really the brightest guys in the world. I think they were just out being drunks and got themselves into some kind of trouble. I don't know. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. But what I came to ask you is, we dealt with this brotherhood that had,
Yes.
your former employee Scarin
Yes.
was obviously up to some bad stuff. Has anybody come around inquiring about him? Do you think they're back in town and they're up to something around here?
Well, is my understanding that you took care of the situation with Scarin and his crew of ne'er-do-wells. In terms of others, do you think there are more in league with him?
I would have imagined.
You mentioned this brotherhood. What do you speak of? What is this?
Well,
brotherhood.
As far as we know, he was part of a organization called the Brotherhood. And I don't know if they're like some kind of underground
pirates?
types. Yeah, maybe pirates, smugglers. But has anybody come around inquiring about him? Is there like?
Well, if they have, not directly to me. I haven't heard anything from any of my people. We're doing our best to clean up the mess that he's left and move on. We are, of course, very busy now, having taken the reins of the Westwind Trading Company and, well, doing my best to do what I think is my duty to help Sophia as she transitions out of Saltmarsh. But now that she's taken ill, it's a bit more complicated. But I'm not aware of any inquiries by anyone other than the local law enforcement in terms of this crime.
And you haven't had any problems around your house? No break-ins,
Nothing.
Suspicious types hanging around, or
nothing?
Haven't had any issues?
Mm-mm.
All right.
wish I
Okay,
had more
well-
more to offer you. I'm sad to hear that your men have been somehow implicated in this.
Well, I'm hoping to get to the bottom of it.
I can
I
imagine.
thank you for meeting with me. I'll let you know if I find out anything else.
Very well. Thank you.
All right.
Good luck.
Yep. Thank you.
Irin, what was Irin gonna? How was he gonna investigate, or what was his plan?
I guess I'll maybe ask around, head over to the anvil, maybe ask around the market. I mean, the market seems pretty obvious, but maybe that's a good place to be seen asking around either. So
Sure. So yeah, you head to the market, and it's late in the afternoon, evening. Sun has gone down. There are still people milling about. The market itself is kind of closed down for the night, but there are still people moving about after finishing up work and that sort of thing. So you find there's a number of different people that you could talk to. So you approach a group of 3 people who are having a conversation. They see you approaching and stop their conversation and look to you. Coalbiter, right?
it is.
One of the men reaches out his hand.
I'll shake it.
Good to see you.
Yes, thank you.
What's this about?
Well, my friends and I got back into town and found some unfortunate business with 2 of our crewmen in jail.
Yes, we've heard that they were involved in stealing something of great value. We don't.
Yeah. So of course we've been out of town for a few days, about a week, and don't really know a whole lot about what's been going on. So I'm just trying to, I don't know, we're just trying to get the lay of the land, see if anything strange has been going on, if asking around if anybody has heard or knows of anything, anybody new in town, anybody asking weird questions, trying to sell stuff.
No, we heard about the arrest. I mean, you do know that these men were privateers, possibly pirates as well. I mean, isn't it possible that
I'm well aware of their previous employers' predilections.
Yes. Well, we haven't heard anything. Have you? No, they kind of turn and shake their heads, and they're like, no. I mean,
Fair enough. Well,
I wish I could help you.
if you hear of anything or you remember something that maybe you didn't think was, couldn't think of right now, let me know. Drop a note at
Of
the
course,
pier
of course.
for us, and I'll like hold up. I'll like, I don't know, palm like a gold piece and to hand him.
Mm-hmm. He kind of perks up. He's like, I'll keep my eyes and ears open.
Thanks. Say if a person was asking for stuff, if a person wanted to know who to talk to about, I don't know, contraband or, wanted to sell things without paying import taxes or any of that kind of stuff, where would a guy go?
Empty net.
I'm not a cop, I swear.
Fair enough. Well, maybe I'll see if I can.
Used to be Kreb would be the one to talk to, but
Yeah, we would have started there, but you know about Crip. I just kind of chuckle. Stupid crit.
I'd maybe ask for Tisk.
Tisk.
Yeah.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
You
You
bet.
gentlemen have a nice evening.
You too. Good luck. All right,
I'm gonna head
Byron.
over-
What?
I'm gonna head over towards the net next.
Okay. All right, Byron. What did you want to do?
All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my contact in Saltmarsh. The guy, I think his name's Malachi, if I remember off the top of my head.
Yep.
And I'm gonna just bump into him. I'm gonna walk up to his house with purpose, but I'm gonna have done it. I'm gonna have stealth. Okay, let me restart. I'm sorry. So as soon as we split, I'm gonna pull my hood up, and I'm gonna go Mission Impossible. Like if it takes me 3 times as long to get to his house, then it takes me 3 times as long. But I'm gonna stealth my whole way there, so
Okay.
nobody sees me go there. And I'm gonna sneak into his house, where I'm hoping I'm gonna find him on his porch. So I'll start there. I'll sneak to his house.
Okay. Roll a stealth check.
I may have disadvantage on any perception checks though.
Yeah. You
Okay.
you rolled a natural 20, so I think that's.
Yeah, I think
think-
you're all right.
I think the way that works is that's pretty good. I'll have to
Sweet.
check the rules here, but yeah, you essentially make your way through the streets to his house near Crabber's Cove, and as you approach, you can see the faint glow of a pipe burning on the front porch. So you get
Perfect.
you can see that he's sitting on his front porch as he usually is. He has
Um,
no idea that you're there.
All right, I'll pop up pretty much right next to him, and I'll just slightly whisper, "Let's go inside."
Yes, Hern. I thought I'd be seeing you. All right. He gets up and he taps out his pipe and guides you into the house. Sits down in a
Perfect.
rocking chair. You get inside the
Awesome.
house and it's dirty. There's dust everywhere. There's empty or like the remains of animals that he's been eating. Like food piles of bowls with food in it that's been sitting there. You even notice that there are some mice that scurry as you enter the place and sit down. It smells musty and like body odor.
All right, Malachi. I'm sure you know why I'm here.
I heard some of your boys were pinched, been arrested for some sort of robbery.
That's what I hear too. I don't like it one bit.
I can imagine you
Uh,
don't.
I've prepared a note that I. Go ahead.
I said, I bet you especially don't like to hear it.
I don't like to
He
hear
just
one
kind of
bit.
grins at you. Why are you here?
Because I think you can help me with my problem.
I'm sure you can understand that I don't want to be seen anywhere near you right now.
I can definitely tell you I know that, and that's why nobody saw me. Listen, the problem is 2 of my guys got pinched, and we both know what they got pinched for, and we both know they weren't involved, and that's terrible. It's terrible that they're putting innocent people in jail. And you strike me as the kind of guy who would have the ability to maybe leave some evidence in the right spot to be found maybe in 24 hours.
What makes you think that I want to get involved with this?
I'll take out 100 gold and I'll put it on the table, and I'll say, "This is a down payment. If my men walk free, there will be more. I don't even need you to say anything to anyone. I just need you to plan something. I've prepared a note and another piece of evidence, which we'll get into in a moment."
You got a location in mind?
I want it found in 24 hours. I want it found before the trial, but after I've had time to disappear again.
Where you want it? Anywhere in particular?
I want it found by a guard, somebody trustworthy. to the city council, and I want it found relatively close to the Solmore estate. I have a note that I would need forged. Well, I don't need it forged. I just need it written by somebody else. It's gonna say Scarin dead, cell divided. Is his name Averon? I have 3 spellings for the guy we met in the jungle.
Oh, in the Dreadwood? Aramon.
And Aramon. Me and Aramon will move on the shell tonight. The hero of Saltmarsh is busy mourning, whoring, and forging. I'll leave your half at the drop. That's what I need the note to say.
That can be done.
And then I'll hand him half of the golden conch shell. I need you to leave this half with this note.
He doesn't touch the conch shell as you set it down.
That's fine.
He says, it's going to cost you more than 100 gold to get out of this one.
How much are we thinking?
Well, I'm going to need to be compensated for the risk. I'm going to need to compensate my contacts in the town's guard. I have an individual in mind who will find this. He's going to need to be compensated for his risk.
Malachite. I've done this before. Just give me a number.
300 gold. Up front.
Malachi, I think we've done business before. And you know me to be reliable in taking care of my contacts. I'll give you 200 up front.
I've watched you get into some serious trouble here, friend. And the risk it's pretty hot. I just don't know if it's worth it.
I promise it'll be worth it. You just need to trust me.
200 gold up front.
Up front.
With an additional 300 gold upon completion. And I need something to hold as collateral.
If my men walk free, 300 in addition. You'll get a total of 5. As for collateral,
that cloak looks pretty nice.
I haven't taken this off in 10 years.
Well, I guess it depends on how important this is to you to get out of this fix you put yourself in. You bring me the 300 gold after this is said and done, you'll get your cloak back.
Alternative. And I'll take out the compass of homing. And I'll say, this is significantly more valuable if you know how to use it. But I want it back with the 300 gold that I bring you after my men walk free. If my men don't walk free, I will want this back regardless. But you won't get the 300 if my men aren't free. Acceptable?
I'm thinking, let me think on it. He looks down at the compass. Thinking that cloak could be real helpful for this caper. This compass ain't gonna do shit for me. I'm looking to not get into trouble here. I'm sure you can understand that. Let me get this job done for you.
Can you get this job done for me, Malachi?
Why'd you come to me if you didn't think I could?
Because I thought you could, but you're not really making me feel confident here.
I'm not doing backflips to help you out after you got yourself into trouble. Is that what you're saying?
You just don't seem like you seem like you're not confident in your ability to do it. If you don't feel confident, I'll find somebody else to do it.
Well, suit yourself if that's the bargain you're driving for. Listen,
I will.
That's the way it's going to have to be. I need some protections if I'm going to implement this plan, and I'm thinking that's what I'm going to need to get her done. I guess it's how badly do you want this problem to go away?
I'll leave 200 gold. I will. I'll look at him and I'll say, listen, here's 200 gold. You start what you're doing. I'll go get the other 300. And you'll have it before tonight. But I want this moved on now. And it'll be worth your while up front.
That's not how it's going to be, friend. You're in a pinch.
I'll scoop up all the gold and I'll grab the conch shell and I'll just leave.
Good luck. So you head back out into the night, and the three of you. Did anybody want to do anything else before heading back to the ship?
Yeah,
oh, Irin,
I'm
you
gonna
were going to
go-
the empty net.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
You walk in the door and it's bustling. There's a bunch of people in there drinking and carrying on, and it's starting to get into the best time of the night at the bar. People are throwing coin around and drinking a lot of ale.
Yeah, I'll head up to the bar and get a pint of ale,
Okay,
a flagon.
you got it.
And yeah, just kind of, I don't know, look around, see if there's anybody. Like, I'm not gonna specifically talk to anybody necessarily, but just see if I recognize anyone around. Just kind of take to Byron,
Mm-hmm.
maybe for like half the ale, and then once I'm done with that, just kind of like wave the barman over, lean in.
What can I do for you?
Well,
Another mug.
Possibly, but I'm wondering if you could help me find somebody.
Depends who that somebody is, I guess.
A fella named Tisk.
He kind of looks around. He's like, "Old Bass,
Just
what are you looking for him for?"
Just kind of, well, I heard he may have assumed Krebs' role. May have some inquiries about some of those sorts of things. If you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Your name's
I would-
Coalbiter, right?
It is.
Yeah. Hero Saltmarsh and all that?
Some would say.
What specifically do you, what kind of business do you have with Tisk? He kind of squints at you a little bit like he's almost having trouble seeing you.
I'll slide him a gold piece.
He'll reach out
Across the
without
bar.
even breaking eye contact with you and
Yeah.
just grab it and pull it over to his side of the bar and into his pocket.
Say, well, I'm sure word around town has reached this corner, and you've heard about our 2 men over in the tower.
Aye.
So we're trying to get to the bottom of that situation, if you can understand.
Sure. How's Tisk going to be able to help you with that, friend?
Well, it seems somebody stole something. It might be that Tisk knows something about that. Maybe somebody tried to sell it. Maybe somebody asked about something. I don't know. It's not really my thing to do, so I'm just the guy asking today.
Well, I suppose Tisk may and mayn't. Who knows? But if you're looking to chat with him, just stick around for a bit. He'll be in.
I'll slide another coin across the bar.
He, again, slides it back over to his side.
See that he is.
You bet.
And I'll take that other flagon.
Got it. He goes and pours you another flagon of ale and brings it back over. That'll set you back another 4 copper.
All right.
A little bit of time goes on. It's getting later in the night. Things are getting a little bit rowdier. There's a couple of guys that start playing some music. A little scuffle kind of breaks out in one corner, and then it's quickly, it's just a couple of guys who are probably buddies who got in a little spat, but it's quickly put to rest. And things are progressing in the night, and the bartender comes back to you and says, "All right, Tisk will see you in the back. Follow me."
I'll pop him.
Okay. He takes his bar rag, sets it down on the bar, kind of gives a command to one of the other bartenders, and takes you into this back room behind the bar. And you walk in, and there's nobody in the room. And he walks over to the desk and sits down. He goes, "Name's Tisk. What do you need, Coalbiter?"
Said, a couple of my guys are in jail.
Yeah.
Evidently, they stole some stuff or were privy to somebody else's action who stole some stuff.
Well, I'll tell you this. None of your boys came by here trying to fence nothing that I'm aware of, and I'll tell you what, I'll be aware of it if it happened.
What about anybody else? Like, I don't know, new in town? We've been gone for a few days. Anyone else coming to town?
Well, nobody of
Ask
note. I mean,
questions?
that I'm aware of. There's people coming and going, as you can imagine, all the time. But no, nobody has come in looking to fence it. And I'll tell you what, I don't think I'd touch that thing. It's too well known of an item. If you're gonna steal something, steal some coin or something that can be easily disappeared. Yeah.
My thoughts too.
I mean, here's the thing, Coalbiter. I know you're sort of wound up with Fireborn and his boys. You had a hand in taking down Kreb, which I thank you for. It worked out pretty good for me, to tell you the God's honest truth. But I'm not so sure that I'd be in a position to really be helping you out. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
But I'll tell you this, I ain't seen this stolen item I can guarantee that.
Well, thank you for your honesty.
Absolutely. Is there anything else?
I say, I kind of get up, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I just kind of, you know, like half turn to go and then half turn back, and I say, well, you know, maybe if you do hear something and feel generous, you know, maybe word gets round, and like I like reach into my clothes and kind of feel around and pull out like a little like a pouch that probably has like just some like walking coin in it. You know, it's probably got like I don't know, maybe like 30 gold or something in it, and I set it down on the table.
Well,
Kind of give it a little jingle as I set it down,
sure.
and I say, but I understand if it doesn't get round, but maybe it does. Anyway,
He nods to you
thanks for
and
the
says, "Well, I'm nothing if not a businessman, so I'll keep my eyes and ears open for you. Guarantee you that." And
Obliged,
he gets up and follows you out of the room.
All right.
All right, so you guys have done some pseudo investigating around town, shaking the trees, touching base with your contacts,
Making new
Yep.
ones.
making some new contacts,
Um,
getting screwed over by some of your contacts,
Yeah.
or at least getting played, you know,
It's not really
hardball.
Yeah.
Yeah, not really. He doesn't want to get involved unless there's some
Doesn't want to get involved.
some
I get it.
guarantees, some real guarantees of his.
He wants my cloak. I'm not giving it to him. It's
He
worth
want-
more than 300
Oh.
gold.
He wants to be safe, but yeah. So, is there anything else you guys want to do before you head back to the ship? Rhunar?
no, Rhunar.
Still 2 days till the trial.
Yeah.
Be one more day.
There'll be one more full day, and then the following day it'll be the trial.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to get back. I might have had a little bit of an idea. Runar's just pacing, smoking his pipe,
Okay.
waiting for the guys to
Okay.
come
on
back.
the ship. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I went back to the ship
Okay.
before I do what I want to do.
Okay. So you're gonna go back to the ship as well. Irin,
Yeah.
anything else for you, or do you want to
We'll
head
talk
back?
it out before I do something stupid.
I'll head back.
Okay. All right. Let's take a 5-minute because I need to hit the head again. So,
Okay.
Drank too much coffee, but give me 5 minutes
Sounds
and then we'll get back to the case of the. We're in a pinch. We're in a predicament. What are we gonna do?
Sweet.
All right.
All right.
Well, well, well. Well, well, well. How you doing, Kirk?
Oh man.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm still trying to think of ideas. Like, I have a couple more ideas still. I'm gonna wait and see what Andy has for me. I didn't want to pay the price of the conch and then more money and lose the conch, which is the only reason I didn't take Malachi's offer. Even though it would have been easier, I would have lost a bunch of money that I don't have. The conch is really most of my money right now.
Yeah.
It is a good deal of money.
Yep, 500 gold is, yeah, that's a lot of money. So I don't want to lose it if I can avoid it. And so I'm thinking, I have a couple ideas, but Andy said he had an idea, so. And I did go back to the ship, so I'm going to be talking it out anyways.
All right, so you guys are back in the captain's quarters for another conference.
Oh
This is
man.
great.
Okay. Well, I went around to Anders Silmore's place and, inquired as to if he'd seen anybody that was asking about Scarin. He didn't say anything. But I did have maybe a possible idea. I don't know.
Let's hear it.
Well, I was thinking maybe this is the thing. I don't know if we can get at our guys. Is there any way to get a message to
Tamis and Korga?
Yeah.
I can probably facilitate a message transfer. That's easy enough.
We tell them to fess up and that a guy named Aramon that they met that night told them in a very persuasive, possibly magical way to go and have a party in that guy's yard. So basically have them admit who the other guy was, but have them say that it was Aramon. And that they didn't have, like, full control over what happened after that. Because that guy had that, and say that, he had this flute that played this enchanting melody, and next thing they knew, they were in this guy's yard having a party.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
So if we could get word to them, get them this story, maybe we could get our guys off with, implicate this guy, get our guys off that, under the idea that they weren't totally under their own, control at the time. And really, what did they do? They went and had a party in our yard. They didn't actually steal the thing.
I think that's okay.
A really good idea.
It is a really good idea. I'm still coming back to the whole, why don't we just let them search our ship?
I mean,
That's where he lives. They could search it, they won't find it.
yeah, but I mean, you're not wrong. It also doesn't, that only absconds blame from us.
And them.
It
If they don't
takes-
have it on them and or in their quarters.
Right, but that's not what they're being charged with, right? They're being charged with accessory. So we need both pieces. So if we can get, if they can be convinced, if we can get that story to them, and then Fireborn can be convinced of that story, and we let them search the ship, and we'll probably pay a fine for them. It's probably going to have to come out of their pay.
And we've never
And then
heard
we
of
can
this guy Aramon before, ever.
And then we can get out of here. But it's going to have to be a combo. It can't. It's probably not going to work. Just one of those things.
I could also sneak into his house. Different Milt's house, and tell him he heard a flute. And tell him it seemed they were ensorcelled. Threateningly.
Yeah, but then he'll know.
Yeah, that's not what we want.
What if I sneak into his house and I play flute for a couple nights, stealthily?
Then he'll be like some weird flute noises around here.
Which,
Yeah, but that
with the guys,
that doesn't make any sense. Like, what would that do? Like, you're playing a flute in his house.
he'll hear the flute, he'll mention the flute when the guys mention the flute.
I think what we need to do is plant some kind of evidence or establish Aramon's presence in the town somewhere.
I could always write a note saying that him and Scarin were connected, and that they were scared that Scarin was caught or killed, and they were going to leave town, and the shell was insurance. And I could just leave that somewhere and have it found by somebody in the guard.
It's not a bad idea.
But that's going to cost me 500 gold, and I don't have 500 gold. Unless I do it myself, which would be easy, I think.
And if only we had somebody who was an expert forger.
Super stealthy, maybe.
Well, how about
Oh, an
just
expert forger?
If only someone knew of someone like that who hadn't skipped town with a bunch of gold.
So do you want to try to get word to our guys to basically say, you know, it was Aramon. We didn't say before because we're scared of him. He's a magic user. We were acting against our control that night. We don't know what happened to him after that. He disappeared. And we kind of came to and we were in this guy's yard. So we went home. I think we need to give them that story somehow.
How do you propose to do that?
That's the... Byron, did you say you might be able to get them the story somehow? A message? A note? These guys can read, right?
Read.
Can they read?
I don't know. That's why I'm like.
Dave, would I know if Korga or
Tam?
Tamas could read?
Roll a history.
sure-
Roll a history check for me.
I'm pretty sure they don't know how to read.
History.
Nice. Yeah, you're pretty sure these guys cannot read. So you're
So-
thinking a note might not quite do it. You might have to get message to them some other way.
Yeah, so I could sneak into the prison and just talk to them, guys.
Sneak into a fortified prison.
Yeah, screw it, piece of cake.
Oh, I've never. We would know about the layout of the Hool Watchtower, right?
The tower and the actual jail are two separate locations,
Okay.
and you haven't really been to the jail. I don't think you've been to the jail. You've passed by it, so you know where it is,
Right.
but you don't know a ton about it.
Just looking at it, like if we've passed by,
Mhm.
would it be obvious that like, are there jail cell windows? You know, like.
Yeah,
Is
you've
it
passed
apparent,
by it
like, when
enough where you know that there are no windows. There are some very narrow, like openings in the walls in one section of the building that faces the road that you've traveled on that are pretty, you know, almost like arrow slit kind of sized.
Okay. But we would have no idea if those would be like the cells.
Yeah, you're not sure because you haven't been inside.
I could get arrested for something else, guys. Get in there, give them the message.
I'm gonna cut a teaser reel of this session with all of the different plans.
Okay. How about this?
That'd be awesome.
Well, I mean, it's an option.
Yeah, I mean, you just
That'd
have to
be one
figure out
way
how
to
to
do it.
get him a message, if that was the plan that you wanted to move forward with.
I mean, what if we just try this forgery avenue?
We don't even need to forge anything. We just need to write it in a chicken scrawl, basically, because they aren't going to have Aramon's writing on file.
Yeah.
Do,
But what- but what-
Do we know anything about how they communicate to Brotherhood? I don't necessarily know that I do, but
We could implicate the elemental eye and leave a note just like they left the note with that triangle circle thing on it. And then we could implicate them in a second plot, which we've already implicated them in the first plot. Well, you've already implicated them relating to the Abbey Isle, which I wasn't involved in.
yep.
Well, what would this note say? Like,
Something about Scarin being dead. Mention Aramon and mention the shell. If it can mention those three things, not only we tied to Scarin, we tied to Aramon, so it's a real threat out there. We tied to the shell. The three become tied together. All of a sudden, it becomes a big conspiracy, and Korga and Tamis seem like just lowly participants. If we can just get the
or
name
in the
Aramon
wrong
to them.
place. Yeah, in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yep, we can fill in all the gaps if they just mention the name Aramon. That's literally all we need. If they can say Aramon without us prepping them to say Aramon, we can be like, oh yeah, Aramon, we encountered him in the Dreadwood, blah blah blah. Oh my gosh, he totally had a golden conch on him. Oh my gosh, he sang us into a lullaby or whatever.
No, I don't think we
Boom.
ever mentioned Aramon's name.
We haven't mentioned his name yet.
But don't ever mention we met him.
We should mention him.
No, we shouldn't. Because then
We
they
should.
would. If
But I
we
mean, then they could have information from Brule. Because Whimsy knows we met him, and we gave Whimsy some pretty explicit instructions about hunting that guy down.
but by then we might be a ship in the wind, you know.
And like I think that's like as long as we're not the ones to bring him up. You know,
Yeah.
Like, oh fuck. Oh, that says Aramon. So here's
I mean, yeah, it's one thing. It's one thing for it to, like, it has to come up in some way that doesn't lead back to us. I guess we could say, "Oh, we know that guy. He's a dick." Like, but what's the point? I guess I don't know. We could always just say that later on that we didn't put it together. I don't know. Like, if it ever comes up again.
together. Like, these guys are a shadowy organization. That's what they're good at.
Yep.
Like, the only reason we caught them was because they tried to fucking kill us. Otherwise, we would have probably never found them. Right? I mean, maybe, I don't know. Who knows?
No, I think you're right. Unfortunately.
Somebody would have slipped up sometime, but it was definitely us slipping up a lot. Like, not putting. We had theories,
If we're going the note route, like, we have to set it up in a way where we're not the ones discovering the note too.
So,
Right.
Like somebody else.
Is there a local safe house, or a place where ne'er-do-wells may or may not hang out that we can have heard about this evening, and then get a message to Iliander and be like, "Hey, we heard about this place. Since this is an official thing, we would rather you investigated it." Right? And it could just be an abandoned shack. Ultimately, I would suggest that one place, except for that's a whole. Oof, maybe that's a good idea. Maybe we put it down there, or near there. But that's not a good idea.
The house with the crypt in the bottom.
Yeah, let's not do that one.
All right. I'm thinking, like, what if we found it? Like, what's so bad about us coming forward with evidence that we found? And I mean, yeah, it self-implicates, but it also we're the best.
Like, it's too. I mean, you're not wrong. It feels too convenient.
Yeah. Look, we found a note. Like,
as opposed to, hey, we did.
It says our guys are innocent. Take it. Okay.
Exactly.
Thanks.
Yeah, but I mean, why would they have any reason not to believe that we're good guys?
Because our guys are being implicated in stealing. Like,
they are, but not us. If we're bringing forth evidence.
Yeah, but there are guys.
I still think the best way is to get them word somehow to name Aramon.
Okay, I can find a way to tell them the name Aramon.
The issue is how to do that.
What if I spread rumors about Aramon around town under guise?
Do you think your contact might?
I'm not gonna. I can't go to my contact again. I'm burning that one. I just don't trust him. I think he's trying to swindle me.
And I'm not supposed to know about your conversation, so I can't mention anything.
I can find a way to get into the prison and relay the name Aramon to them myself. I can do that without any contacts. I'll just stealth in. I'll get somebody I can communicate with, and I'll say, "Hey, Korga Tamis, rat out Aramon." That's all I gotta say.
And Theo doesn't have any magical means of sending messages, right?
No.
It is not.
I think that's, I don't know, I think that's our best choice here. But what do you guys think?
So we do that, we have to rely on them being able to sell that.
Yeah.
Whereas if we can pull this note off, all we have to do is write the note and put it in a good place, and then get them to find it.
Oh, well.
Or we could be the ones who found it.
Then we don't have to rely on those two to lie about it, right? All we have to do is say, have this note. And then we can say, oh, fuck. Yeah, we did encounter this guy very recently in the Dreadwood while we were helping out our friends in Burrow. And, he did seem to try to do some stuff, but of course we overcame it. And then they escaped.
Oh my gosh, you just inspired me. Okay, I have another idea. This is another idea. Back to the node idea and implicating Aramon and everything. What if in the note that we plan, it mentions Aramon attempting to frame us? Make it a whole note about how Aramon's out to get us. Then it makes sense that he followed us into the Dreadwood. And it makes sense that we ran into him in the Dreadwood. And it makes sense that he would try to implicate us in this grand scheme to steal this conch shell, and then we can double it. I mean, it's just, I feel like it ties all the knots into a nice little bow.
Yep. I like that. I like it a lot.
So you would leave a note somewhere that says Scarin's dead.
I have put into motion a frame job on the dead gang. I'm going to follow them into the Dreadwood and try and finish this.
And then, are we still going to try to get word to our guys?
We don't even need to. They were ensorcelled. Nothing they did was of their own accord, because we can mention the ensorcelling. We can mention running into him, especially if we mention that he chased us into the Dreadwood.
That's some kind of demon?
But how is that? How is that not us just walking up with a note saying, "See, we didn't do it"? Like,
we just have to make up a way we found it.
We let someone else find it and be like, hey, like we could, like I said, like if we give them a tip, like, hey, we heard about, we asked around town. Someone will have seen us ask around town. We say, hey, we asked around town. We heard that, there's maybe there's this den of whoever, whether or not that's actually what that is or not, but that's where this note is. And, maybe that place looks like it had, if there aren't actual criminals in there, it maybe looks like there was. And this note is like found hidden somewhere in that place.
Wouldn't it be better to
partially destroyed? Like maybe it's like half burnt in a fireplace, and it obviously got, overlooked. It wasn't totally destroyed, and then they find it, and then they're like, "Oh shit, that gang! Hey, look at this note," and then we're like, "Oh, okay, like, yeah, that's really fucked. That's odd that this would happen like that." But more convincing. Okay. We would be more convincing than that.
And wouldn't it be better for it to be in a place where people aren't? Like it couldn't just be an inn. You know what I mean? It had to be like a warehouse,
like a dead drop,
like somewhere where the guy was like hiding, or
somewhere
like a dead drop.
Traverse Cove, maybe. Places where you got to think that Fireborn knows that people knew who Kreb was. People knew that Kreb did stuff, but they had to have a town this size, right? So there's a slight understanding where there has to be between the underworld, and the watchtower, where it's like, oh, you as long as you aren't overtly calamitous to the town, you can exist. But if you fuck around, you'll find out, right? Like a town this size, you don't know. There's no way they don't know who the crime bosses are, or whatever you want to call these guys. They know who the smugglers are. Like it's not a big town. This isn't a city. This isn't Irongate. Sure shit ain't Seaton or Gradzul, right?
Yes.
Back home, we knew. You knew who some of the criminal people were. You didn't know all of them. Right. Irongate's a big place, and the watch. Those guys knew some stuff, but they didn't know everything. But a town this size, either they know everything and let stuff happen, or they're the worst town guard ever. They don't necessarily seem to be that way, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So it really comes down to we're going to do the note. We just need to figure out how we're going to have it found. Is that correct?
Yeah. I think that's a good idea. I think that's our best play with the least number of variables.
I've considered to find the note. We could have it found by any guard member. I think if we were to find a way to draw their attention to it, I'm thinking we could literally plant it near the tower, and all we have to do is find a way for them to look at it and find it. And then we can literally hide it anywhere. We don't need to plant it some specific spot, some specific dread drop, some specific hole. We could make our own, and then we could find a way to lure them to it of their own volition. And I'm thinking along the lines of like, what if we remove a brick from the Who Watchtower, hide it behind the brick, put the brick back, and then when Eleander walks by, have Theo make the brick shake or something. Enough to draw his attention to it so that he looks at it and inspects it and finds this note. Potentially. As an option. I mean, it's just an idea. It seems easier than, because if we go to my contacts and try and drop it in a dead drop.
How about this?
So what if we fake it?
How about a letter sent to Solmore addressed to Scarin?
Oh, I love it.
Go on.
Okay. A letter gets sent to Solmore addressed to Scarin, who's now dead. Mm-hmm. And it's from Aramon, and it has a bunch of shady shit in it.
What if it mentions a spot that may have stuff that was Scarin's that Aramon's looking to acquire, and then they find the note implicating Scarin in the theft of the shell.
Like they just find something on their property.
Except for the timeline doesn't match up because
everyone Scarin was dead.
Scarin was dead like a week before that
shell. 3 days.
Either way, that's not that's not a bad idea though. Getting somebody even less connected to it to find it. Maybe someone drops the note, in Scarin's room or wherever, assuming that he lives at Solmore's estate, and then Solmore or whoever is new finds it, and then it's like, oh fuck, let's bring this to the watch.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have already been searched though?
But if it's a new note, I mean, but who knows? Who knows how sneaky things are? You get in there and put it somewhere.
In which case, it would probably be easier to sneak into Solmore's than it would be. But we wouldn't know where his room was in the house.
All right, there's another idea.
I was going to say, I have another idea too.
Okay, go. This is going to be like a 6-hour episode of wrestling.
So here's my idea. It'll be quick, right? We play off of my earlier idea. My earlier idea where we get a message to Fireborn, hey, we heard about this place. And we can pick an abandoned place. And then we have a disguised Byron there who gets seen and escapes. And then so that way they have a person that they're now looking for that they have seen, and you drop something and it's, or they see you help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, putting the message somewhere or whatever, or dumping it in the fire, or strategically, and then you're like, oh shit, and then you escape, and then they can be like, oh, we found this guy and we found this message and whatever. So we could. That's an option that I just came up with.
I like it. I was leaning more towards the lines of, if it's a new note to Scarin, I could sneak into the Mariners Guild and just leave it as if it was delivered with all the other mail. And then they find it, they say, oh, this was delivered to Scarin. Scarin was that bad guy. And they probably will either mail it to Solmore, or they'll just leave it straight to the town guard. And all we have to do is implicate a plot for the shell and mention Aramon.
Does the Mariners Guild handle the mail in town?
They handled my mail.
Oh.
When I sent letters, I sent it through the Mariners Guild to Grad Sewell. So
Okay.
I'm assuming they might get or send or receive some kind of communique. And then on top of that, we don't even need to do it like blatant. We could put it in semi-code and like a loose code, so that it's not impossible for a layman to decipher. And then just have it mention like the shell, mention Aramon, mention Scarin, have it addressed to Scarin. Say like, Scarin, we got to deal with the dead gang. They're getting in our way. Implicate them in this shell murder or shell theft. And then we have that mailed to Scarin in code. And maybe have it just regular logs or something. Mentioning regular trade.
I mean, okay, so you would have to break into the Mariners Guild to do that, right?
And drop a letter off. I could probably literally do it in the middle of business hours if I was sneaky enough. Just all I have to do is drop a letter off. I can pop in there to pay the invoice and have it just slide into their incoming mail to be distributed among town. How do you guys think of that? I'll pop by, I'll pay the bill, drop the letter off, pop out.
Sounds like a level of Hitman.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
So you guys are gonna. The letter is gonna implicate Aramon, connect him to Scarin, to the shell, to make that connection.
Yep.
Okay.
I like it. The only thing I think we really need to be careful of is the wording of this, because obviously Scarin's dead, and they wouldn't. Whoever's sending this letter may or may not have had found that out yet by the time they had sent a letter.
Yep.
But it wouldn't necessarily make sense that the letter directly mentions this conch shell, because that happened after Scarin was dead, right? And that's a hard point in time. Like, if that wasn't a hard point in time, I would agree we could shuffle that concept around, but that's like a hard point in time. So we just have to be careful about how we word that to be able to really make that sing.
I would say we write it out as like a regular invoice of stuff, of like a past invoice. Maybe they're questioning an invoice that they received from the Solmore estate, and the questioning has weird capitalization and stuff, and that weird capitalization is just the note. Dead gang has become a problem. Implicate them in crime. Signed Aramon or something like that.
Or have Aramon implicate them in a crime.
Yep.
No, but God.
Because it doesn't matter if Scarin might have known about the shell job prior to his death, and may have put it into play prior to his death.
It's true.
And it may have been like a slow con.
we could say it could say something like, "Move forward." Move forward with your, move forward with your plan with the shell or the robbery. It
Yep.
doesn't even necessarily have to say the shell. It could say move forward with this robbery or whatever.
Frame job.
Frame, yeah.
Frame dig.
Yeah.
Problem. Signed Aramon.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's all that they need. I mean, it could be as vague as we want it to.
I'm gonna say this. Let's pick that or pick something and let's do it fast.
Yeah.
Okay. I say we do that.
Let's move this shit along.
Yeah.
Yep.
Make a decision.
So let's do that.
All right. So
Let's age the letter.
You're gonna forge a letter from Aramon to Scarin, saying, providing instructions from Aramon to Scarin to
encouraging him to frame us.
To frame the dead gang to get them out of the picture.
Yep.
And it is or is not going to mention the shell.
It'll mention framing us. It won't mention the shell. Unless you think it should mention the shell, guys.
Necessarily needs to, as long as it mentions, as long as it involves like framing them and something. It doesn't even necessarily need to be like getting the dead gang out of the way, as much as maybe even more so breaking the dead gang's trust. Or the trust between the city, the town,
tarnishing their reputation.
The gang is getting in too good with Fireborn and so and so or whatever. Like, we need to tarnish their reputation.
Well,
to get them out of town, they're ruining our chances of whatever. They're asking too many questions.
So if this note is the order to do the frame job, how would it have been done already? Because it's been done. You know what I mean? So if Scarin wasn't there to do it.
I think they're saying that this is an older letter that had been sent.
Oh.
Yeah, I
we
think.
Can post-date it, predate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. We predate it. We'll have to drag the letter through water and mud and stuff, make it look like it's traveled too.
This is around Christmas time, right? So the mail is obviously slow around Christmas time.
Things get lost in the mail all the time.
Yeah.
Especially when it's coming from ports unknown.
Okay, so just so I'm aware, or so I understand. So you're going to create this note, giving direction to throw a wrench in the dead gang's plans by framing them for something. It's not going to directly mention the conch shell. It's going to be predated to look like it was sent prior to Scarin's death. And then I think that's pretty much it on that one, right? And then were you going to still try to get word to Korga and Tamis about Aramon to make that connection?
I don't know that
it seems pretty risky.
Yeah.
Like, I really like the idea of them just saying it was this Aramon guy. But trying to get word to them seems like it would be pretty difficult.
I don't know, man. I can basically turn invisible.
And then having them, getting the message to them. The hard part is getting them to be convincing. Like, how well do you know these guys, right?
Byron probably knows them the best at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
they're pretty gruff.
I mean, none of the guys on this ship really seem to have that level of, except for maybe Fitz, right? Nobody else really necessarily seems to have that level of je ne sais quoi,
Yeah, but if they could just blabber the word Aramon a few times, I mean...
Now, if we can be there when they are when they can get questioned, and
they've been questioned
again with this new evidence, right? Maybe, you know, maybe Byron can get them unseen signals to like, oh yeah, I did hear the sound of a flute man or whatever, right?
I just had
They don't
this.
have to
I
have-
had this vision of Korga and Tamas being questioned in a dark room by one of the head town's guard interrogators, and the three of you standing behind the interrogator, going, just mouthing Aramon the whole time.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, like
Right.
steal home.
Yeah.
It would sure help if
If we had
this
a wizard,
this note
yes.
gets sent and then
Deck wizard.
corroborating statements from them.
Yeah. But if this note thing is convincing enough, that's why I think and I like this idea, but that's why I think it might also be a good idea to have them have a physical person to chase, at least for a little bit, right? Because then they're like, oh, then they can fixate on that, and we can be like, listen, you guys just chase this dude out of town. You've got this letter that obviously implicates that this isn't on us. Here's, I don't know, 100 gold, whatever this, whatever it would be to kind of get this our guys out of here, and then, we
I have
call it a
another
day.
idea.
Oh boy.
All right. We set up another job. We rob somebody else the exact same way, but we plant a flute somewhere, and we mention Aramon out loud during the heist, and then the people who are arrested for that one, we claim are ensorcelled, and that it's a double job, and they're just trying to frame us, and we just pick two more. We pick that one guy and the other fucking guy. We
Too
get those
complicated.
guys down to be the guys drinking. They're
Too
gonna have a good time. They know they're gonna get arrested.
Yeah, that's too big. I think
Too
we
many
gotta we
moving-
do this.
It's a
We
crazy idea,
gotta
but I
we
wanted to
write
go
this
for it.
note and we do it, and it's either
Too-
gonna work
yeah.
or it's not gonna work.
Too
Okay,
many
I'll
moving
write the
parts.
note. I have some ideas for that already.
Out of character, I'm tired of fucking talking about it. So
Yep,
I want this
yeah.
shit to go
I-
to move forward.
I think I agree. It's been really fun watching you guys squirm over this thing for a while, but yeah, we should. So let's do the note first. So you're gonna
Yeah.
create this note. Go ahead and roll. Do you have proficiency with forgery, Kit?
I don't think I'm gonna need to forge anything.
Okay.
I just need to write a note.
Sure. Just roll a deception check then.
Okay.
We'll see how convincing this thing is. And I have the general gist of what you're trying to do with it, so we don't actually need to sit here and draft a note. Okay. So you've got a note. You guys all kind of look it over, review it. Theo's just kind of shaking his head, but he nods. And so you guys have a note. And now where do you plan on putting it?
In the Mariners Guild.
Okay.
We're gonna have it delivered to the Mariners Guild.
All right.
Look like it was delivered while I'm paying for the maps.
Okay, awesome.
So I'll go to drop off the 15 silver, and I'll just slide it handed into their pile of income now.
Okay, so this is the next morning, we'll say, and you head over to the Mariners Guild. Go ahead and roll a sleight of hand check for me. And let me know what you rolled.
12.
Okay.
Oh, fuck.
So you walk in and you pay the 15 silver. So you've paid the invoice. Laszlo's very, very excited to see it. He says, "Have you given any additional thought into joining the Mariners Guild? I know I've spoken about it and provided you with that information on the guild. You're in a bit of a legal trouble right now, but I still think perhaps I'm sure it has nothing to do with you. If you can move on from that, we'd love to have you in the guild."
Oh, all that we've been leaving up to Rhunar. I'll have him stop by later today. But I'm kind of in a rush. I just wanted to spare invoice. We got to deal with this whole legal thing. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, here. Let me do this. And he hands you another pamphlet. Just think it over.
Oh, thank you. I'll throw it away in the trash on the way out the door.
Roll another sleight of hand check.
It falls out of your pocket.
This better not be a natural 20.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. He has no idea. Yeah. So you successfully planted the letter.
Perfect.
And so you kind of go back to whatever you're doing the rest of the day, and
we'll investigate.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's not a bad idea to keep asking around town.
Sure.
And retroactive, I would have mentioned Tisk last night.
Yeah, during the plotting and scheming.
during the alternate miniseries where we just discuss crime plans.
Yep. Masterminds. So things don't happen right away with this plot. They have to discover the note. There's a series of things that happen to identify, the contents of the letter. It was certainly addressed to a known conspirator who has been, killed, but put to rest that conspiracy. So it is definitely of interest right away, and it is delivered to Solmore. You discover later, Solmore, without opening the contents, brings it directly to Eleander Fireborn and hands it over to him as potential evidence. And this takes a day. And we eventually get to the point where the trial is happening for Korga and Tamis. And the four of you, Theo's there, possibly some of the other crew members maybe, are in the courtroom as they are being questioned about their involvement in this heist. They look out at you, the three of you, seeing you in the audience of the courtroom. And you can tell just by looking at them that they're very nervous about what's happening. There are some very pointed questions about what exactly happened that night. Their stories corroborate each other in the fact that they are so drunk they don't really remember many of the details. That's pretty much what they were using as their defense. They haven't given anybody up. And eventually the questioning turns to a name Ehrman. And the investigator slams a letter down in front of it's kind of like a tribunal of people that are it's not a judge, but it's like a group of people that are overseeing this particular case, and submits it as evidence, and then relaying to the tribunal that, this was a letter from this individual to Scarin. They believe that it had something to do with the theft, although the item that was stolen is not directly mentioned in the letter. They do believe that there's something going on. And so they start pressuring Tamis and Korga to say something about who this Ehrman person is. And they're super confused at this point, and they're not sure what to say. They just maintain that they were unwilling accomplices, that it really hadn't, they were drunk. So what I would like, let's have each of you roll just D20 rolls. These are going to be deception rolls for Korga and Tamis as they're being questioned about this letter. So I want 3 rolls. So this is like a group. This is kind of a group skill check, essentially.
Just a D20 roll.
Just a straight D20. Yep. So we got a 19.
Yes. Oh, good.
That was good. A natural 20.
God damn it.
And an 8. Wow, guys. Well, you pulled a natural 20 out when you needed it.
No shit,
They yeah, that's amazing. So here's what happens. Korg and Tamis essentially continue to profess their innocence. They're unwilling accomplices. They are able to essentially convince the tribunal that they had nothing to do with this in terms of knowingly stealing anything from Bifrin Milt's estate. They don't even know what was stolen, and that's true actually. I don't think they ever saw anything that was taken. So it's not hard for them to believe themselves after a while. They certainly don't know who Aramon is, and they profess that. They are summarily convicted, nonetheless, of having been involved with the theft, and are going to be, and they are then sentenced to time in the Seton prison until
I'll object.
until this Aramon individual is questioned, captured and questioned, and or until the item is found and returned. And so they are quickly hauled off to the holding cell. But they did not cave under pressure and say anything about Byron, which is what those rolls were for.
Oh.
And you're lucky that you rolled a natural 20 because that gave you 2 successes.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, because otherwise they were gonna spill the beans under pressure. So unfortunately, they are not released. They are going to do some time.
Maybe we can work something out on the back end.
I'm
Or
wondering.
maybe not.
Yeah, we could try. I don't want to do any crime time for this. So
Crime time.
yeah, any time crime. When they mention Aramon, and they mention it publicly, right, as they're being tried.
They were directly questioned about who that individual was. Yes.
Okay.
So the
and
forgery,
have heard
the
that
note
name
worked
numerous times.
It was basically
Okay.
like a red herring that you threw into the prosecution's case in their investigation that kind of led them astray and certainly led them away from any additional sort of questioning towards your crew. At this point,
Okay.
the general consensus is that there were a couple of bad eggs in the Deg gang that somehow got involved with someone named Aramon, and they're going to be held until this Aramon individual is found, basically.
Okay. And we weren't asked anything about this Aramon character.
Mm-mm.
They only asked the guys that were arrested.
We were not questioned.
You were not called
maybe
as witnesses or anything like that.
So we should go find Fireborn, like,
and talk about
as soon as this trial is over. Like, oh hey, that's some shit.
Yeah, this guy's ensorcelled them, obviously, because we were ensorcelled by them.
Were we though?
Some of us. Rhunar vaguely mentioned something about that. I was sleeping.
That's true.
Yeah, he had a magic flute.
Yeah, you're able to connect with Eleander afterwards, and he's like, "Well, it's a damn shame, but well, don't be too hard on yourselves. It's hard to find good work these days, and well, everybody's looking for a way up. You know what I mean?"
True. Something mentioned during the trial. Maybe we should have a meeting somewhere.
I can do that. Why don't you follow me back to my office? As you walk in, he closes the door and says, "Aramon, right?
Yeah.
You know this individual?
I wouldn't say we know him,
but you know of him.
We encountered him, what, 3-4 days ago?
Really?
Wait, how long was it? Yeah. When we were gone for this week, we headed out to Burrow to track down a friend of Rhunar's Whimsy.
Hmm.
She's a cleric.
I remember Whimsy, yes.
Yeah. And they had some issues in Burrow with the undead coming out of the Dreadwood. So we went in there and took care of some things, found a friend that was missing. And on our way back, we ran into some woodcutters who we allowed to share our camp with. And their leader, or their seeming leader anyway, used some song, like played his flute to try to lull us into a sleep or a false sense of security. And then some, I don't even know what this dude was, some big purple skinned horned thing with a bunch of like man dogs. We fought off most of them, but this Aramon guy and this horn dude managed to escape before
Yeah,
we could.
They both vanished. They were using some sort of magic to disappear them. To disappear.
So that's.
Well, do you think this Aramon individual then is? What's the connection to Scarin? Do you think he was part of this plot to take control of the West Wind?
I mean, perhaps. I mean, if
Certainly
if
seems
he's
as though he had it in for you.
You know, if he's a member of this brotherhood, who knows what their plans are?
Mm-hmm. Well,
But yeah.
Huh. I guess it's possible
Regardless.
Then. Yes?
Regardless, our two men had nothing to do with this. They wouldn't do this. We don't hire bad eggs.
Well, I understand your concern about your men. Doing time in Seaton is no joke.
Well, I don't think they could have even done it. They were prepping for the funeral of our dear departed whose name I know.
Oh, are you talking about you're talking about the one that
Leo
died?
Coast.
Leo Coast died, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leo Coast.
Well,
Our dear
I
departed
imagine
Leo
that
Coast.
once this Aramon individual is located, either in Saltmarsh or Burl, that things can get sorted out rather quickly if your men were not involved. I think what the problem was the fact that they were there with this, what would seem to be a distraction while this item was stolen. I think that's the problem.
Well, you're telling me that people don't just get drunk and wander around Saltmarsh?
Well, the timing is rather peculiar. You can try to convince me otherwise, but certainly I'm not the decision maker here, unfortunately.
Yeah, the thing that concerns me is if this Aramond ran into our men that night, there's a good chance they might have done something without even knowing it, given his, magical powers.
Absolutely. And once they have Aramon in custody, perhaps they'll get to the bottom of that. The only suggestion I would have for you is to perhaps talk to this individual Bifram Milt, perhaps, to try to see if he would be willing to speak on behalf of your men. It might be the only way to, put a halt to them being sent to Seaton. I don't know if they will walk free necessarily, but perhaps they can be kept here in Saltmarsh, which would be a bit of a better situation for them. Seaton, as I said, is it's no joke there, And then once, hopefully, if this airman individual is taken into custody, they could be potentially cleared. I don't know. For the time being, they'll be held in the Saltmarsh jail until transport can be arranged to Seaton. My guess is that will take place in a day or two.
What kind of transport do you need?
They'll probably be taken via ship. Expedite the process.
We have a ship. We'll take them.
Let's go talk to Milt.
Okay.
I think that's your best bet.
All right.
All right, so you guys leave and head over to Bifram Milt's place.
All right, I'll take the lead on this one, guys. Why don't you guys just hang back? I'll chat with him.
Are you gonna threaten him?
No.
We're out of the watchtower now, right?
Yeah, you guys are on your way over to the guy's house.
So Dave, the idea was to just convince him to put in a good word for our guys.
Basically, yeah, to see if he would be willing to sort of speak on their behalf to ask for a temporary stay on being extradited to Seaton. Since he's the one that has been, not besmirched, that's the wrong word, but the one, he's the victim of the crime here. He has some say. Plus, he's a relatively influential individual in town, given the fact that he essentially built and brokered a relationship between the community in Saltmarsh and the merfolk of the Javon. He's got some pull.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not very persuasive.
I'll persuade him. I got this.
So I would rather not be the one to try to persuade him of anything, but
I got this. Don't even worry.
What
Okay.
do you think, Irin?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So you knock on the door, and a middle-aged woman answers the door and brings you inside, and you are now sitting with Bifram Milt. Yes, how can I help you? You're here for what now? Wait, what? Who are you? Hello?
He's frozen.
Oh, Byron's frozen.
Are you trying to intimidate me with that?
With that 1,000-yard stare.
Hello?
Oh, no.
Roll an intimidation check.
He can't.
No. I'm excited to see what how he's going to pull this off to get these guys out of
Seaton.
yeah. I mean, it was a good plan, but somebody's got to do time, you know?
Yeah. I think we're just gonna have to leave him here. I don't want to fucking track down this guy. We got other shit to do.
Well, we'll see. If he can pull another natural 20 out of his pocket like he did on that last one, you guys will be just
Dave,
fine.
What was that they said at the trial? Like, if they recover the shell?
That was mentioned.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was definitely mentioned. I think they're definitely concerned about like the property. Obviously, it's a valuable item, so that would probably go a long ways. All right, so welcome back.
Sorry about that.
All right, so you and Mifrim are standing there in the entryway, and he's like, "Well, so wait, who are you now?"
Noble Mifrin. Mifrin. Different. Noble Bifrin Milt. My name is Byron Hern. And I'll reach out my arm like I'm going to do the clasp of honor type thing.
he doesn't quite know what to do, but he kind of reaches out his arm and does.
I'll do it all for him. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Okay. Oh,
Make him feel real.
what?
You know,
How can I
raised up.
help? How can I help you then?
Where's a word of your noble deed of distinguishing and brokering this peace treaty between the mighty merfolk and our small humble village of Saltmarsh here has reached my ears recently.
Yes, yes.
And it's come to my attention that a valuable item has been stolen from you.
Yes, yes.
Which is a tragedy, and I'm heartbroken and offended
Thank
that
you.
something like this could happen to you. I'm here on behalf of two of the men who are implicated in this atrocious crime. It's come to my understanding that two of the men on our noble ship, the Good Buddy, were found in your backyard wasted. The night this crime occurred.
Those scoundrels. They're involved in this
Yes.
in this theft.
Well, hey now. It definitely strikes me as odd that they were drinking in your yard. But I do feel there's some information that is very important for you to understand. We just recently lost a dear crewmate of ours named Leo Coast, who passed away in the defense of our noble ship here in the docks of Saltmarsh against an evil organization that's looking to sow dissent within the Saltmarsh area and against our crew, actually. And I would just be remorse if you were to punish the wrong individual for this crime that has happened to you.
Well, the court has spoken that there's culpability, and well, this individual that they were working with, this Airman.
Oh, you're familiar now. Excellent. That doesn't shock me at all. You're a very smart man.
Well, not wrong.
So the three of us here, Irin, Coalbiter, and Rhunar, I'm sure you've heard of them. Dick's kind of a celebrity around here, I guess.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So I mean, we're all friends with these men, and we know they would never do something like this. And the thing is, and I'm personally just, and I think I can speak for the rest of our ship. We're pleading with you to please to show mercy to these men who were ensorcelled by this terrible demonic essence named Aramon. And let me promise you that we have put out more than a few messages around the area, including Brule and Saltmarsh and the area. We're going to find this man, and we're going to bring him to justice.
Okay.
And nothing would bring him to justice faster than if we were up to full strength. And these two men that we have locked away are really impeding our ability to do the investigation that we personally think that this crime that happened to you, I'm emotional. I'm so angry about it. But we can't, I just want to put more resources into finding who did this to you. And this Aramon guy, I want to find this guy. And our men were just unwilling accomplices. And honestly, they are not culpable for the situation.
Yeah, they didn't strike me as too bright.
Right. I mean, it just seems so unfair.
Yes.
Is there any way I can persuade you to show them mercy and release them back into our care, and we'll punish them. We'll punish them for letting them be used in this way and bringing shame to the Good Buddy.
Well, I'm most concerned about the conch itself. Was a great treasure to me and my family, and a great honor to our house. The two men you speak of are not important to me.
So what if we were to what if you let them into our care? We watched them, monitored them. We'll search them. We'll search their quarters. But I don't think we're going to find this conch cell that was stolen. But we very well might find this Aramon, and through him find this conch shell. But it's more likely we'll find him with our two men working on our ship tirelessly to make up for this horrible crime that has befallen on you.
Roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Well,
Oh,
I suppose that if we find this mastermind, this airman fellow, that would be important for the community to know that there are consequences for crimes like these. These two men you speak
Absolutely.
of seem to be nothing but unwilling accomplices in some greater scheme, perhaps. I suppose
If you
that
want,
if you provided some assurances that you and your team, well accomplished in Saltmarsh and the region, could track this individual down and find my conch shell, that would be certainly helpful and welcome. I could potentially put in a word for your sailors.
let me put it this way, my dear Bifflin. If we get our men back tonight, I will make it my mission to find Aramon and deliver his head to your door.
Well, that might be a little much. I personally
No,
hope...
I am that
Well,
serious
oh.
about finding your conch for you. You have my word.
I don't want the man's head, though, let's be clear.
What would you like? His hands? His feet? His eyes?
I would like to see him punished for his crimes.
I will punish him for days.
I mean, like, with justice, like jail, not murder.
He will be brought before you in shackles.
Yes. Oh, well. I see that
All
you're
I need is-
a man of great honor, who is true to his word. You have rolled high on your persuasion check, and as such, I believe you. So, yes, I will put in a word if I can rest assured that you will help to recover this artifact for me. That is what I'm most concerned about.
And so it will be done.
Very well. Mr. Hern, I expect to hear from you.
Noble Biffrin Milt. It has been a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for inviting us into your lovely home. What a beautiful entryway. It seems like it's missing something.
Yes. Well then, be on your way.
Farewell, my friend.
Turn them screws.
Wow. So, I mean, yeah, you rolled high enough where he's gonna pull some strings, and he does talk to Eleander Fireborn, or he helps to broker some sort of like a work release type of thing for your two men.
Perfect.
And Eleander meets with the three of you as he's releasing Tamis and Korga, and he says, well, it sounds to me like you're going to find this item for this man that's honorable and it's the right thing to do. I wish you the best of luck. I hope you can follow through on your promise. Good day, gentlemen.
all right. Thank you. Thank you, Eleander.
As soon as we are like 20, 30 feet away from Eleander, I'll look. Did I promise, guys? I don't remember promising.
Can we change this back to just in Saltmarsh? No longer beyond Saltmarsh, but it's just Saltmarsh.
It's going to be called Forever Saltmarsh.
Guys,
Forever
we gotta get out of
Saltmarsh.
here. We gotta get the heck out of here.
Oh boy.
So you
Okay,
guys,
let's try second
as the day wanes, you have been able to, through exceptional persuasive techniques, freed your two men. Doesn't sound like you really learned a lesson, but we'll see what happens. And
Somebody learned a lesson. Never trust Byron.
Yeah.
Ever again. It's me. I learned it.
Yeah. And I only wish that Theo would have been here to be the. He's kind of got a little bit of that ethical compass, that moral compass. It would have been interesting to see what he would have had to say, but. You guys you're back to full strength, if you will. I mean, you still could use a couple of crew members, And there is, at this point, a bit of a, I wouldn't say a dark cloud, but certainly a bit of a mar on the reputation of the Dead Gang in Saltmarsh. It certainly has not there's been no exoneration of Korga and Tamis. Certainly amongst the law enforcement, but definitely amongst the public. So they now, as you circulate through the marketplace and that sort of thing, you hear more comments about how the Dead Gang was able to pull strings and has now sort of been able to influence how things go around here, and that's kind of where we'll leave things for today's session.
Not necessarily a good thing. Not necessarily a bad
Well, things
Nope, it's
things
all
change.
thing.
Yeah.
I guess let's be bad guys.
No, we don't have to be bad guys. What we did was
Bad.
exonerate people who weren't
was bad.
involved.
Who were involved.
They weren't knowingly involved.
They were knowingly involved.
Yeah.
No, they had no idea what I was doing. I convinced them to do it.
No.
You're just lucky
I was
they
like,
didn't
dude,
give.
all
You're
I
lucky
needed
they
them to
didn't
do
give
was
up your
think.
name.
I
Yeah.
know.
If you guys had,
Came within one roll.
if you had failed that group check, it would have been.
We would have been obligated to have subdued you in the courtroom then, so that we didn't shed any doubt on ourselves.
I would have started rolling a new character.
I don't blame you.
Unfortunately, because I would have fled.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have let you subdue me.
that would have been an interesting. Well,
Byron
nonetheless,
stands up in the middle of the courtroom, bolts.
yeah,
No!
I will turn
No!
Boom.
yeah. Thankfully, that
Just
did
pull
not
my hood
happen.
up slowly. And,
That's funny.
yeah.
Holy
I'm
cow!
intrigued.
That was a lot of
Byron, why is there
ideas, a lot of plans. Holy shit!
Why is there a small cloud of dust forming underneath your feet? Why are your feet moving so fast? Like cartoon.
Yeah,
Rev your,
a Wile E.
rev your
Coyote.
body up.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's funny. That's really funny.
So I just keep playing with my hood. All of a sudden, it's up and I'm invisible. It's just an empty chair next to you.
I mean, you don't go invisible though, right?
No,
I become like a chameleon almost.
You get high dex rolls.
yeah, it's not
I-
a cloak
I
of
get,
invisibility.
Yeah, I get high stealth rolls, and they get disadvantage on perception rolls to see me.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to say, it says like it becomes like
That's the thing about stealth though. I don't have to see you to hit you.
true. Yep.
That's very true. So now you guys have
Target that explosion and fire.
some decisions to make on what you're gonna do.
Fuck, I don't want to be in this goddamn town anymore.
Yeah, we gotta get out of here. I mean, I could
go
always leave.
But I
the
also
showpieces
wanna-
in his yard.
I also want to come back to this town. Not that I ever really want to, but I want to be able to.
Mm.
Or do I?
I mean,
Fuck it.
we didn't
I am
make
wearing
a
a
name
I am
for
wearing a
ourselves.
pirate headband right now. I do wear the skull and crossbones every session.
Yeah.
And if we want to do like Mariners Guild stuff, we can't be a crew of
Yeah, but we're looking
wanted
to do.
individuals.
We're tracking down other shit.
Right. We're in the end. Our overall moral compass has been good, with a little bit of gray area, robbing the rich.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by
Darn.
our.
Well, my compass has. I've done good things, mostly good things, and as a whole, our group has done almost exclusively good things. You just have
Yeah,
maybe
I
one
guess
slightly
you're-
shitty character.
You're slightly okay by association.
Mhm.
I mean, I've done a lot of good things too. Come on. I haven't done all bad. I just tend to think a little outside the box.
Well, I would just say that like the pendulum of public opinion is starting to swing in a different direction for the Dead Gang at this point. So, not that, individually, I don't know how big of a deal that is to your characters. It might be more of a big deal to Deg, since he had sort of been living this notoriety and this, the hero of Saltmarsh thing. But yeah, you guys obviously can do whatever you want to do with what's thrown in front of you. So
I think the obvious thing is We get the ship ready.
Yeah.
We ride out of town to Burrow. The ship leaves, and we travel inland and around and meet up with the ship, like maybe back at the haunted house, and then just get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. That's a possibility.
You know, like, oh, they went into the Dreadwood and never were seen again. And fuck it.
I mean, if we're planning on doing something like that, I can always talk to my contacts, maybe see if there's any stuff around town that we could take on our way out.
We don't need to take anything else. We
Maybe-
just need to
yeah,
get the
don't-
fuck out of
A
here.
broken
Yeah.
trumpet or a giant chalice.
Byron's under house arrest right now.
Yeah.
He's
I was
grounded.
doing it for the good of the ship. I didn't know it would come back and bite me in the ass.
You're not a very good thief, then.
Yeah.
I suppose
Well-
you're a swashbuckler, not a thief.
Nobody knows I stole anything, except you
You know-
guys, because I told you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You were probably better off just doing that on your own and just sneaking in there and
Yeah,
rolling
probably.
your rolls. And
Yeah.
And then never
you,
mention it.
you didn't
ever
even need the
again.
distraction.
Probably not, but I mean, it definitely helped.
Yeah.
That was such
It just sucks that-
such a juicy hook for me, though.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Yeah.
resist.
God dang it.
Anyways, well, let's say goodbye to anybody that's still watching after hours of planning and
Yeah.
masterminding.
And planning and planning.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for
It's only
watching.
slightly more.